We are actually live streaming for the first time, which is absolutely fantastic. So, guys, I got to say, y'all clean up nice. Congratulations to the crew here on Implicit Bias. So for those who are out there and going to start joining us via stream, if you haven't realized it yet, the new top secret podcast lair is a place where, number one, we have air condition because we don't normally have that in the top secret podcast lair, otherwise known as Better Root Productions. Secondly, obviously, you can smoke a cigar here in the top secret podcast lair, as the CWAT, Certified Wizard of Tobacco, is already partaking, of course, as is the Rustic Renegade, who is across the table from me.
I don't have one.
Yeah, Burley's doesn't have one yet. I noticed one? I said yet. Yes. Renee's going to get him one. So here's the best part of it, though. The newest family member on Implicit Bias is Mr. Lester himself. Like, Mr. Lester called me. Mr. Lester said, we want to open our doors to Implicit Bias. And Mr. Lester said, we've got all this weekly whiskey for you to try. We've got all kinds of stuff that we're going to put out for the bourbon and whiskey drinkers in Acadiana who want to come. All the bourbon and whiskey drinkers, matter of fact, so I'm going to say this, all over the U.S., because I know that we're going to have somebody tune into this early who actually lives in Florida. He told me he was so excited for it. The Dania Beach Bourbon and Whiskey Club going to tune in. Absolutely fantastic. So we're going to jump right in, get right to it, as we bring you the first live streaming episode of Implicit Bias, because it's been an adventure getting down here, right? We all jumped in a wonderful limo bus provided by Luxury Limo of Lafayette and rode down here to Mr. Lester's, and then we all began actually partaking of being road crew. Every single member here got their hands dirty in some way, shape, or form to help set all this up and make this happen. So a big, huge thank you. And then it dawned on me. You know, somebody said, hey, let's get a YouTube channel. Let's turn off your phone, Renee, right? Let's go ahead and stream Implicit Bias. It'll be fun, they said. Let's wear black tie for the first event, they said. Treat the spouses and significant others to a memorable night, they said. So we did. Actually, the they was pretty much just me. Your humble host, Kavan Bordelon. I was the one who basically said all of that. So that's exactly what we are doing. If you're listening on the radio, you have missed a massive night here on Implicit Bias, our first video streaming episode from our latest iteration of the Top Secret Podcast Lair, otherwise known as the TSPL.
Come on, time out.
What, Sam?
Are you doing the monologue?
Yeah.
We haven't started recording yet, brother.
You're killing me,
We just turned
Sam.
on the live stream.
You told me we were ready to go, so we started going. You said we were on.
This is the many wonders of doing it live.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you've been watching,
Yeah, so
great.
hello to the live stream. We haven't started recording yet.
Hello to the live stream, and thanks, Sam, for telling me we were rolling when we weren't.
Oh, we are rolling in one form or fashion.
It's like a rehearsal.
Yeah, it's like a rehearsal. It'll be fun, they said.
It sounded really good.
Yeah, well, thanks, Sam. I appreciate that. For those who don't know, that is the voice of Sam Stokes, a.k.a. Bourbon Boy, a.k.a. what else do we call him? The Baron of Bourbon? Yeah, I want to say he had like 9 or 10 nicknames on the show.
Many aliases.
Many aliases, yes. But that's okay. All right, so we ready to start the monologue,
We're
Sam?
ready to start the monologue, yeah.
Thank you so much for telling me that we can do this, because are you going to give me a 3, 2, 1 at least or
I'm
something?
going to give you a 3, 2, 1. It's funny, the people in the chat are like, but you are on. Yeah, we're on. We're just...
Okay, so hold on.
We're not recording audio.
For the people in the chat, let me give you a little behind the scenes before we start recording. When you stream, you can stream live and everything goes out. But we also record the show for our Saturday spot, 10 a.m. to noon on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. So Sam has to know when to mark that and when we start that. So when he says we haven't started yet, that's what he means. So you actually got to see a little bit of behind the scenes that, you know, people who are actually listening on Saturdays and not necessarily watching the stream won't get. So
not unusual at all.
No, not unusual at all. Not unusual. So Sam, how many? I'm curious. We already got people watching. How many?
You got like 35.
Cool.
35.
Appreciate y'all.
Wait, that's more viewers than listeners.
Yeah.
They finally wanted to figure out what we looked like.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry for that.
We always
We
dress
all we all have faces for radio.
Yes.
and we always show up to the TSPL dressed like this.
Yeah. This is how we dress all the time.
All the time.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready, Sam. When you give it 3, 2, 1, maybe I guess we'll actually be recording if you can get it right this time.
3, 2.
Let's video stream Implicit Bias, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Let's wear black tie for the event, they said. Treat the spouses, significant others to a memorable night, they said. So we did. Actually, the they in all of that was pretty much just me, your humble host, Kavan Bordelon. I was the one who said all of that, so that is what we are doing. Now, if you're listening on the radio, you've missed a massive night here on Implicit Bias, our first video streaming episode from the latest iteration of the Top Secret Podcast Lair, otherwise known as the TSPL on Implicit Bias, where, if you're watching, you notice that we are smoking cigars this week. We actually have air conditioning this week. We are in big, comfortable chairs this week, wood-lined walls. We have our weekly whiskey already poured in our pressed Czechoslovakian crystal. We have weekly whiskeys on the menu. We are looking forward to a steak you will not match in the state of Louisiana because we are at Mr. Lester's Steakhouse in Sharonton, Louisiana. Mr. Lester himself opened the doors to Implicit Bias. So we're bringing whiskeys, cocktails on this episode. We're going to have a giveaway of a dinner for two up to $500. Now, I'm going to jump from the script for just a second here. It doesn't include the gratuity to your server. So please make sure you take care of those who are taking care of you. But it also includes a hotel stay here at Cypress Bayou Casino, where you can eat at Mr. Lester's, just like we are dine in the Cigar Room and enjoy the beautiful atmosphere you see here. In the meantime, let's go ahead and kick this puppy, get this episode of Implicit Bias underway. We are brought to you in the first hour by Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress in Lafayette. The CWAT, that stands for the Certified Wizard of Tobacco. Mr. Rene Girard, also Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist. 553 square foot of walk-in humidor, a smoke room, because it's a little hot on the porch right now. But he's got everything you need for your cigar and pipe smoking needs. Rene Girard, who is next to me on my right, Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress. Tell him your Implicit Bias brought you to the shop. Okay, now, so there's really so many directions we could have gone with this show. And I know everybody who is here, the crew this week is probably wondering, what did you pick? But only one really seemed, well, right. This will be the last monologue that references the Italy trip. I know some of you were like, oh yeah, you keep talking about that Italy trip. But this one just makes so much sense. The relevance to this show, this setting, this group of people, it can't be ignored. So let me set the stage for you. This week, we have the OG, and I mean like the first show Implicit Bias, original gangsta crew. Spouses, significant others are here with us, and you're probably like, how does this tie into you spending time in Italy? And here's how. We referenced on previous shows, and it's really no secret, how dinner goes in Europe, and my most recent experience in, of course, Italy. Dinner for everyone there. Singles, families. It starts later, first of all, than many of us like to maybe really start around here, like 8 o'clock or later. And dinner, for lack of a better term, it's beautiful. It's courses. It's savored. It's enjoyed. It's part of the culture in Italy. Dare I say, it's a tradition that has been upheld for generations. That tradition really couldn't be more important in that country. So important, in fact, that one of our tour guides actually very politely told us and specifically referenced us as Americans and said, I quote, don't get the to-go cup. Don't eat it on the run. Sit down, drink from a glass, enjoy your time. It was such a great moment, a moment that reminded me we should all take time to enjoy being with the people we enjoy being with. Tradition is something that we all too often forget in our Implicit Bias, right? Many times we get so caught up living our lives and we forget to actually take time to live. In order to do that, we need traditions. A quick search will deliver headlines from Scientific American announcing that traditions make families happier. A paper on Brigham Young University's website outlining how traditions make families stronger, improve relationships. Traditions are what we remember from our childhood. They are what build our identity as adults and parents. Look at your traditions, and you'll see what you love. It's funny, I was actually once told something by Deacon Gary Godin, something about love. And if our traditions tell us what we love, then how we define love should help us find our traditions. If that's that easy, the question becomes, and this is the quote, how do you actually spell love? Time. Yep. Your traditions tell you what you love. That means you need time to create them. That's why this week, dinners in Italy with my family will never be forgotten. Even the one where I got in trouble, and we might talk about that later. Everyone in Italy takes time to eat. That time creates tradition, and that tradition yields memories. And that is why this week is so important. Because we are in a place, a location, that when you're here, you'll never forget it. Mr. Lester's is the only 5-star restaurant between New Orleans and Houston. We'll take our time tonight. That's why this monologue won't be a heck of a lot longer. Because we want to create memories, much like if you take your significant other down here and enjoy dinner. We want you to experience this with us. We'll talk about our weeklies that Mr. Lester's will have in their special version of the Top Secret Podcast Layer. We'll even give away prizes. That does not mean, though, that we are done with our weekly whiskey partners at New News. We will start another month, some special stuff you can only get at New News. Some shelf stuff, very special. We'll have cigars from Piper's Haven that will soon be available here at Mr. Lester's. We're creating a new tradition with our newest member of the Implicit Bias crew. If you're watching on live stream, stay with us. If you're listening on the terrestrial radio side, don't worry. We'll have more from Mr. Lester's Cigar Lounge when we come back on this episode of IB. We can sit here for a second, but while we just kind of compose ourselves.
All right.
Yeah, notice. So these are the things that happen live stream, right?
It might be interesting for them to be able to see and hear.
Yeah. So we're going to do some of that. We're also going to take a couple of breaks. So, if you're on the streaming side, we are going to take a break here or there. So for our streaming.
I hope they're drinking with us.
That's what I was about to say. Go ahead, Caleb.
We're sitting there. I'm already looking.
Eat that
I poured us
microphone,
all,
brother.
Yeah, I poured us all what I would think of very generous helpings. I'm almost through. Man, y'all need you were talking for 45 minutes. But y'all need to catch up.
How bad was it, Sam?
7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Yeah,
See, it
look.
was not bad at all.
45 minutes.
Look, that's the same math I tell my wife.
Yeah, you didn't. Caleb, you didn't short pour mine, that's for sure.
I tried.
This whiskey's awesome.
This is impressive. Man.
Told
this is the best
you.
bullet I've ever had.
See, I told you.
We're here for a little while, Caleb. So,
Yeah, I was about to say.
Look, cut
Remember,
it down a little bit.
tasting. We've got
we have-
4 weekly whiskeys.
We have 4 bottles in front of us. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're not gonna
Just so
make it
you
out
know.
Yeah, we got to pace this, boy.
Well, no, I need to put these empties at the shop. So
Oh, well.
Look, it's a sofa
Plenty of
bed.
time tonight.
They'll get it.
Not only a sofa, it's a sofa bed right
Yeah.
here. So we're not
They're
making
watching.
it out of here.
They're watching at the shop right now. Carl done sent
Hey, to the shop,
Yeah, he sent
to
me a
Piper's
statement.
Haven. Appreciate you. Sam, anybody else chiming in via chat?
Yeah, there's a lot of people chiming in via chat.
Well, what are the questions? What they got questions for us or something?
Someone named Justin Richard.
Snap!
Acadiana's gunsmith, Mr. Richard.
The Dulcetons.
Drinking Whistle Pig Small Batch.
Oh, well done.
See, that would be nice. So the people out there watching this and listening live, chime in with what you're drinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
That way, one, if we haven't heard of it, we can find it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And two, we know what you can enjoy, what you like as well.
Looks
Yep.
like John Mode from the Dania Beach Bourbon Club is
There
on
he
his
is.
second pour.
John. Okay, he's an hour ahead of us. John is in Dania Beach, Florida. So for him, it's 7:13. And he is the president of the Dania Beach Bourbon Club. John, you're going to fuss me, John. You're going to fuss me because the challenge coins are in the room.
Mine's in my pocket.
So we'll let you show it because we're gonna give out some challenge.
Yeah,
coins.
but
we're gonna talk about some
I
challenge.
need to know
coins.
which camera's on for that. Otherwise, Sam, can you
There's only-
can you
okay.
remotely zoom in?
There's only one camera that's facing
Yeah.
you. There's only one camera facing you. That's the one you
valid
gotta worry
point.
about.
Valid point. Yeah.
Yep. the one that's got the
Caleb,
best.
I even figured that out.
I'm over here. I'm like, where's the blue light?
I just looked around and I saw one that was facing this way and that way, and I said, "Well, I think I know what's going on."
Well, and here's maybe the best part of that. You know, I really wish Sam would use the camera that's behind Caleb because it is the best side of his face.
Well, that one may actually see
Tough room.
the coin better, right?
It might.
Yeah, it might.
It might.
So,
I'll hold it up to it.
yeah, look, there you go.
It's
You
not
got
in focus,
you have
though.
you have prettier hands.
It's focused far away.
They're more dainty,
Yeah.
small hands.
Yeah, it's way out of focus.
It's
man.
way out of focus. Right?
Yeah, don't worry
well.
about it. It'll be all right.
Actually,
We will
hold it
show
up
That's
it.
actually another thing I tell
Hold it up
myself.
to the
The corner one?
Yeah. Hey, you can see it. It just doesn't have any light on it.
Yeah, you can see the color code. They got the
Hold on.
color code
Yeah.
on there.
Oh no, we'll work.
It's I think it's bronze.
Okay,
It's
we
copper
don't need to go
bronze.
down this rabbit hole. We're fine.
I love copper. I love bronze. I like
Lot
I like
of-
the finish he did on it. I think John did a great job.
John did a fantastic job.
Very impressive.
A lot of whiskeys coming in. Somebody's got a Implicit Bias Masterson's.
Oh
Yes. Yes.
Shout out Rob Boudreaux.
Rob
I
Boudreaux.
think I'm down to 4 bottles left.
How many cases did you buy?
Not enough.
That was the 10-year. Was that 10-year Masters?
That
is
was the 10-year white oak-
Masterson's
was a white oak finish.
Yep.
Yeah, that one was great.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
All right, Sam. We ready for second segment? Oh, Sam's. What are you doing
Did
over there,
someone
Sam?
give him a Mountain Dew?
I don't know. It looks like it. Because we all know Sam. Okay, so for those who are on the streaming side, this is why you want to be on the streaming side, because now you get all the stuff that we might not talk about on the show, on the radio side. On the way up here, we all at some point forgot Sam was on the bus. We're like, where is Sam? And I
in the
turn
back
around,
chilling.
he is in the back looking hungover as all hell.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I was impressed he had pants on.
And I'm like, Sam, are you hungover? No, I'm good. I'm just thinking about everything I got ahead of me tonight. And I'm like, dude, savor it.
Well, we were loading the bus, so Sam showed up first with all, and Sam's got all this equipment. I mean, he's got a ton of equipment. So we're loading up everything, putting it on the bus, and Sam has this little duffel bag, and we load that, and I'm just like, Sam, how about your suit? And he's like, oh man, forgot my suit. He was so worried about making this all right tonight, making everything work, he forgot his suit.
He's focused. That's
Yeah,
all
he
it is.
was.
I'm still worried
In the
about packing
zone.
it all up, man. Yeah. Because I see what Caleb has in front of us.
It's going to get packed up just
gonna be
fine.
Yeah. I
Yep.
mean, after all these whiskeys, it's gonna be rough.
I
All
feel
right.
like I'm at like a battalion ball, so that means that there's a standard that needs to be reached. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking there might be a late checkout on this, boys.
Oh, yeah. All right, Sam, whenever you're ready.
Pace yourself.
Burley, looks like your sister's in the chat, Alice.
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that is outstanding. Alice, thank you
my
for
sister,
watching.
Alice.
Yeah.
Has anyone asked for your number yet, Sam?
Yes.
It's not Burley's sister, huh?
Caleb almost had whiskey come out of his nose. I'm just saying.
It's in my mustache.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
3, 2. Wait, fuck, missed.
You know, of all the people that I thought were going to break the language, it was Sam.
I love how it was
No,
Sam
Mike,
first.
you
I
can't
really,
get it.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
good.
I'm sure you heard
I
that.
thought Grant and I were going to be like the first
Yeah.
ones to drop
It
an
was,
F.
it was
Yeah,
a
no.
draw.
No.
All right, 3, 2.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Implicit. Again? Are you kidding me, Sam?
This is a live show.
Hey,
This is a live
That's-
phone show.
What's
Just so
fun is
everyone
they-
knows, his current actions do not mean you should not hire him.
here's the deal. Actually, watch the stream and then go listen to the show, and you're like, man, he's good.
Oh yeah.
He's good.
We got a lot going on right now. Poor computers asking. We're asking it to do a lot.
You need a faster computer.
No, they don't make faster.
He's on
Sam,
at
what's it
Mr.
doing?
Lester's public Wi-Fi.
Sam, what's it doing? Where's it hung
Nope,
up at?
we have a dedicated hard line just for this.
you
That is
go.
how. So, for those who are on the streaming side, before we start recording, you want to know how accommodating Mr. Lester's can be. So, first of all, you want to go to a great restaurant. You want to know you're in a great restaurant. Walk in and say, "Hey, this used to be on the menu. Do y'all have that?" And yeah, we have it. We'll make it for you. right?
Dude, this place blows my mind.
That's the kind of service you get here. So we're going to save some of that for the radio side. We want everybody to hear that.
I'll wait.
But my point is, we said, look, here's what we need. We need a hardwire Ethernet for internet. They're like, done.
We need more whiskey.
Done. We got that. We were like, look, can we move some of the stuff around in the cigar lounge? We got that. Whatever you need.
Say when.
Slow it down, Renee. Slow it down.
Oh, yeah.
Caleb, we haven't started yet.
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm waiting on you.
All right, 3,
It's
2.
crazy.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Implicit Bias. I am your humble host, Kavan Bordelon, and we are in the newest iteration. And Sam, I'm wondering why the Top Secret Podcast Lair hasn't looked like this for the last 2 years. Because the Top Secret Podcast Lair this week is Mr. Lester's Steakhouse, the cigar lounge to be specific, at Mr. Lester's Steakhouse, which means that we are smoking cigars. We have our weekly whiskey from our weekly whiskey partners at Nunu's Markets in Youngsville, Scott, Milton, Maurice. And we have the crew here decked out. If you're watching on stream, guess what? You already know. If you're listening on terrestrial radio or on podcast, we are in black tie, care of Miller's Formals in Lafayette, right there on Ambassador, Caffrey, and Ridge. And let me tell you, if anybody can make this crew of faces for radio look acceptable, they're going to make you look like a GQ model, like you belong in a cologne or perfume or even down to an underwear commercial, right? You're going to walk by and people are going to go, oh my goodness, who did that? It wasn't the person, it was Miller's Formals. So visit Miller's Formals. We love what they did here. We had to go a little bougie, fellas. We had to go a little bougie. So let me introduce the crew, and let's start with the person who provides hour one. That is Renee Girard of Piper's Haven.
I feel like Bond, James Bond. I mean, we're sitting in these big chairs, and I mean, it's just like, dude, we're in a James Bond movie. We're in a, we're here gonna enjoy some good food and good drink. It's awesome.
Would that make your villain name like Tobacco Finger?
And see, here's the thing. I'm glad he feels like Bond because he looks like Who's Harry Crumb. No. So there's the reference. So when we did this, we decided that we were going to do something special because this is building a tradition here at Mr. Lester's as the newest member of the crew. They opened their doors to Implicit Bias. We're going to curate this whiskey selection with them. We love what's going on here. So we said we are going to do this. And our significant others are here so people know. Well, everybody except Sam. Sam didn't bring a significant other. So Sam of Better Boot Production. Sam, what's the matter? Her husband wouldn't let her out of the house for a night?
Shots fired across the bow.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so I know my wife's probably met, and oh my goodness, there are the ladies. Now, Sam's not going to be able to get a glimpse of this, but yeah, that is something special as they walk in. I mean, just total knockouts in the room, and I feel like I just saw my wife again on our wedding day for the first time when those doors opened. That is fantastic. So let's jump into our weekly whiskey, what we have to tend to here on this week's episode of Implicit Bias. Let me tell you about our weekly whiskey from our weekly whiskey partners at Nunu's Markets, Youngsville, Scott, Milton, Maurice. This month, we don't have a single distillery. This month, we have all Nunu's store picks. So we are starting off on a night when we are going to have, and an episode where we are going to have not one, not two, not three, 4 weekly whiskeys. And if you stick around on the streaming side, there might be a bonus segment with a cocktail. Oh, yes. So let's start with our first weekly whiskey, which is, of all things, a Bullet bourbon pick. Now, I've had offerings from Bullet before, but when we got with Bullet, we were like, okay, we'll take that store pick. Now, this is one of the wonderful things. We've done this already on the show, but I picked it because it fit the night. It fit this episode because we don't necessarily have to rate this on the Morse Whiskey rating code. We've already done it. And take a guess what it is. It's a blue. It's what Mr. Lester's brings to you, the highest rating you can possibly get. So let's start across the table from me with the Rustic Renegade, who I love the tie with a nice AR-15 on it. He's got everything's concealed. It's all concealed carry on Caleb here tonight. Yeah, he had to go and alter the dress just a bit, which we're absolutely fine with. But Caleb, of the Rustic Renegade, what are your thoughts on this weekly whiskey,
Look,
the Bullet store pick?
I've been sitting there writing notes, It's smooth, smoky, caramel, vanilla. I can't place my finger on the fruit that I'm getting. It's not grapes. It's not dates. It's a little fruity, especially on the nose, and then you get it in the middle of the palate, I find. Just sweet enough. I put very pleasant. Drinks extremely well. And naturally, Grant saw me. I already marked it as a blue.
Already a blue. I love it. Love it. Okay, so let's go to my left. Normally we go to my right. We're going to go to my left. We're going to go to Dead Man Walkin', a.k.a. Burley Short Pour Pelleria, which, Burley, we're thrilled you're here with us tonight.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And we always want you here. So I'm curious as to what you think of this bullet.
Bullet is one of the standards. We've said it before. The Bullet bourbon, the Bullet rye, it's not expensive. It drinks well, drinks good, drinks easy. This particular one, though, is a step ahead. This one is this one's good. This one, I'm gonna quote Sam there. This is good. It's good.
Well, and we have to be clear. This is not a bullet you can get anywhere other than Nunu's.
No,
because this is a Nunu's store pick.
This one's special. This is really, really good. It's and I'm with Caleb on that one. There is something that just a little fruity, which is not typically something that I like, but not that I don't like. It's not something that I typically would seek out. But there's an interesting flavor in this one that makes it intriguing.
Okay, so let's go across the table to Caleb. Then we're going to go to Mike, who might be off camera, but it's okay. We'll let him talk about it for just a second.
I was sitting back trying to go back and cheat, actually. We tried this on March 2nd. It was their barrel pick. And I didn't write down the price. Apparently it was that good. And I put best bullet ever, aggressive enough, smooth, just enough kick, simple. That was the notes from the time. And it was a split, 2 blues, 1 green, and I don't know who gave it a yellow.
Probably the person.
Grant.
No, it was probably Mike. It was probably the person who doesn't like anything because he thinks it's all donkey whiskey. So Mike Trammell of Luxury Limo of Lafayette.
Was I on that show? No, you weren't. Okay.
So Mike wasn't on the show. Okay, so I don't know who it was.
I accept your apologies.
I didn't offer it. I didn't offer it, but you can convince yourself
Well, I
of that.
accept it, though.
Yeah. Okay, so Mike, is this donkey whiskey?
No, this is really good. Sam, what camera can I be seen in? Okay, so look at I don't have much left in my glass.
Yeah, shocker.
The color on this, the caramel, really looks good. This is a smooth drinker. I'm a fan of the Bullet. Bullet's very common. I remember picking up a bottle of Bullet rye with my brother here recently, and if he's watching, I don't know if he remembers that night, but anyway, Bullet's always a great product. It's really smooth. This one, is it like maybe a fig you're tasting?
That's where I was gonna go. I was gonna go fig. I was gonna go dark fruit, fig, dark cherry.
Because it's not very sweet. Mm-hmm. It's not very sweet.
It's faint, but it's there.
Yes, it is there.
But to me, this is really smooth. Guys, this is a blue. This is definitely a blue to me.
Whoa. Okay, this is truly a momentous occasion because Mike Trammell, I think, gave his first blue. Oh, Sam with the special effects. Love it. All right. Grant Galatas of William S. Nacall Jewelers. Grant, I'm curious as to what you think of this one.
I've gotten into this little game with myself where when
we don't want to know about all that. That's TMI.
Too much information.
it's live, okay? Keep it clean, okay? Back it up a little bit.
All I said was it was TMI. That's fine.
Look, I've gotten into this
Your
little,
mind's
little
in the
game
gutter.
with myself where I like to taste it initially to try and guess the proof, because if it gets to be too high a proof, it's an early night for me. I'm out of here. I'm off the show. This at 104 is what we're reading on the bottle.
Yep.
I mean, combined with Caleb wrote caramel and vanilla, not overly aggressive up front, but still just enough to give it a nice punch. This is really good.
It's fantastic.
Really,
so,
really pleasant.
Renee, I'm curious as to what you think of this one as well.
This whiskey's awesome. It doesn't drink like a 100 plus proof. It is extremely smooth, no bite at all. This is a whiskey that'll get me in trouble because it's very, very smooth, very drinkable. And with the cigar, Sam, we need to start doing this in the TSPL, bro.
Like we say on to remind everyone, we're drinking this neat again.
Absolutely.
As we've started in recent months, where we're actually testing and tasting the whiskeys neat.
And we have not yet added any Kentucky limestone water.
have not.
That's how fantastic
Yeah,
this is.
this doesn't need it. This doesn't
does
need it.
not need it.
When a whiskey above 100 proof drinks this easy, you don't want to mess with it. You really don't.
Normally, right now, what we would do is we would ask people for their ratings. I think we can do this pretty quickly. Oh, well hold on. I forgot somebody. And I know he's juggling about 50, 60 different things right now, but Sam in the corner. So we give Sam a hard time, and I had to take that opening salvo at Sam. It was too much fun and too easy. But literally, Sam's keeping all of this together right now. So we're going to include Sam. Sam, I'm curious as to what you think of this particular weekly whiskey.
Thank you so much, Kevon. Yeah, I have to echo all the sentiments. I mean, it's so straight fastball down the middle. It's just that classic whiskey flavor. You get that little bit of smoke. You get that little bit of caramel in there. Everything feels really balanced. I feel like the proof is just right on it. There's that burn that you want whenever you take a sip of whiskey, but it's not something that you're thinking about afterwards. I feel like it lingers just long enough as well. I'm getting a little... It's like a little dark cherry, like a
that's what I said earlier. Dark cherry,
Yeah,
dried apricot, that dark fruit.
That's
type
yeah,
flavor.
that's what I'm getting. And it's a lot of times we drink these whiskeys on this show that have all this unique flavor palette and have this interesting thing going on and this interesting. This one does not really have that. It's just what you want in a whiskey executed at a very high level. And
It's just bourbon whiskey. If to your point, when you take a sip of a bourbon, this is what you expect. And normally right now we would try to rate this on the Morse Whiskey rating code. I think that's pretty much in the books. So can we all say it at once? 1, 2, 3. Blue. That's what I figured, right? When we would also normally play What Would You Pay? But we're not going to do that right now. What we're going to do is we're going to talk very briefly for just a second about Implicit Birthday that's coming up. And then when we go to our second weekly whiskey from New News, that's the one where we're going to play What Would You Pay? Because we might have multiple winners on that one because people should know the answer. And Caleb, the switch on your phone
I'm tuning into our live. I want to answer people.
Oh, okay, there we go. That works. The reality is that price on that second weekly whiskey from New News is really important, and you'll understand why. Sam, how are we doing on time?
we got a lot of time.
Okay, what's a lot of time? That could for some people be 5 minutes.
We're at 12 minutes right now. That usually goes 20 on
Yeah.
the segment.
So look, here's what I like because we've got so many weekly whiskeys. We're going to talk about so many things. Let me give people first of all a rundown of what's going to happen on this episode of Implicit Bias. So for those on the streaming side, what you're going to see in just a few minutes. Anybody got an actual time? Real time?
6:31.
So in about 3 to 5 minutes, we're going to take a break. And then we are going to be served the first course of a tasting menu from the chef, the executive chef, Chef Willie here at Mr. Lester's. And we are going to get to taste the food with the whiskey, which he has built a menu specifically for that. That is number one, fantastic. So in other words, if you're watching on the streaming side, you can see the kind of food that you would get if you come down here to Mr. Lester's and enjoy it. That's going to happen throughout the night, throughout this episode. So make sure you stay tuned and catch the whole thing. But now let's talk about Implicit Birthday. So all this kind of happened at really the same time. And Implicit Birthday was the actual catalyst for how this happened, for how Mr. Lester's and Implicit Bias came together, because there seemed to be a natural link there. And as we reached out and they actually said, no, we want your listeners to be here more than just one event. Implicit Bias is one event, but there's more here. We see more here. We can do more here. You can do more here. So that's what we're doing. But Implicit Birthday is what started it. So let's talk about Implicit Birthday, August 3rd. Now, we've got some sponsors for Implicit Birthday, and we actually have in the room someone who decided to get behind Implicit Birthday. Lee Ritter of Ritter Consulting actually came down and met us. So by the way, when we announce that we're doing these shows, you can come have cocktails while we do the show. You can come get a pour of a weekly whiskey that we are actually going to sample on the show right here with us. That is a fantastic offering. And wait, because we're actually going to tell you the prices. And when we tell you the prices, you're going to have an actual conniption fit. Because the prices that Mr. Lester's is going to offer these weekly whiskeys and these whiskey tastings is one that every whiskey taster can enjoy. Every whiskey lover, every bourbon lover, every bourbon lover can enjoy. Twice. Right? Twice. Yeah, twice.
You had too much of that whiskey right there.
Not yet.
That's it. I'll drink your portion.
Yeah. Shocker. So, Implicit birthday, August 3rd. Ritter Consulting, Lee Ritter here with us, smoking a stogie, which I'm going to partake of in just a few minutes. I will open one up and light one up, and we will get that underway. The second part of that is we also have another great sponsor, because when you buy your ticket to Implicit birthday, which is going to benefit the Acadiana Veterans Alliance and Boy Scouts of Acadiana Evangeline Council, next week, Mike Jenkins, executive director, will be on the show. It's going to benefit them. You will get a 1.5 ounce old fashioned from Sirot de Saison. Alex Saison of Sirot Trading will have his products there. He's going to offer you that 1.5 ounce old fashioned. When you hit the door, your entry level ticket gets you that right off the bat. You're also going to get 8 poker chips. Those 8 poker chips. And look, some of the names that we're going to talk about, I'm actually going to start to slowly reveal some of the names that we've confirmed are going to be there. But those 8 poker chips will get you 8 tastings from what we anticipate to be over 40, and I'm going real conservative. I think it's going to be higher than that. Over 40 different whiskeys from over 12 different distilleries. What an opportunity to come out. There's going to be a silent auction. There's going to be all kinds of great stuff. You can go to Eventbrite, go to our Facebook page to purchase your tickets for Implicit birthday. And anybody here who just grab a mic, chime in, your time at Implicit birthday. I see Renee grabbing for the mic already.
We're also going to have 3 cigar reps. We'll be on the back patio. Too hot on my porch, but I hope they bring fans out there because it's going to be in August. It's going to be hot, but we got 3 cigar reps coming. We got Perdomo coming, Crown Heads coming, and Forge Cigar coming. Those are 3 of the 3 cigars you're going to get in your pack. And then the VIP tickets is going to have a separate extra cigar from McAuliffe Cigars that they're the sponsor of the lighter raffle that we're going to be doing.
You'll have your opportunities to win special bottles. You will have all kinds of great things that you can engage in. Burley?
Speaking of chiming in, I'm going to chime in on this. So I'm not a big cigar smoker, but for whatever reason, this goes well. Renee, I don't even know what this is I'm smoking here. Maybe you want to chime in on that, but it's very good, and it complements this bullet for sure.
It's the Avo. That's the Avo Classic, one of my favorites.
Well,
I love it. It's made by Davidoff.
Very
awesome
good
cigar. Avo Uvazian, who used to own that cigar, he died a few years ago. He was a composer and wrote the song "Strangers in the Night."
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, there's no stranger in the night whenever you partner this with this Bullet bourbon, because it's
awesome.
It goes really well.
Yeah.
So we have a jam-packed show for you. We've got tons of weekly whiskeys to talk about. We're going to get some food in here in a minute, because the way the Rustic Renegade has been going after that Bullet offering from New News, I got a bad feeling he needs to put some food in his stomach. We will start to tell you just how fantastic the food is from here at Mr. Lester Steakhouse when we come back on this episode of Implicit Bias.
Boys,
I'm leaving the audio up.
Yeah, leave the audio up.
And so the people out there
Still
listening, August 3rd at the Grouse Room. Go to the Facebook page. You go check it out there. There's links to the Eventbrite. You can buy your tickets now, so that everything's live. It will.
It will sell out, by the way.
If we sell out 250 tickets,
it will sell out.
Thrilled.
I have
It was
no.
that there last year. Last year we would have sold out.
Yeah,
250.
there's no concern. It's going to sell out.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let me go see if Chef Willie is ready. Miss Neely, thank you very much.
He was watching, and then he take 2 left.
It's
Yeah.
fun. Look, we're still live, so it's like now in NFL when they go to commercial.
Yeah,
they
this
show
is-
what's still going on in the game, and they show the preview.
Yeah, this is it.
Look, but y'all still behave. Sam, put your coat on at some point, son.
Yeah.
I need you to
Good
top your
Lord.
glass
Look,
off,
he's trying to look like he's bit. I know that's my second pour though.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna police each other for a little while. I'll be sleeping by 10.
Oh yeah. Like I have a feeling this is going to be a late night.
7.
Oh,
I
no.
took a cold shower to wake up because I've only got so many hours in me.
After dinner,
I know. Yeah.
Hey, I thought the ladies were still here. When did they?
What did
sneak
that
they are
mean?
in their
They
own
went-
private dining room.
What are y'all doing after
Yeah, they
dinner?
went get. I got a kiss goodbye.
Blackjack, baby.
Oh,
Not from
okay.
your wife, from mine.
I got a bunch
So
of
yeah.
They're going.
I did get a kiss from his wife. No.
out?
Sam, they're going to play piggy
Gracious.
slots.
And look, gentlemen, whenever the wives walked in, all I can say is we all chose well.
Yes.
Like, I know the dress my wife chose. Like,
Dude,
it
how,
was breathtaking.
how do we get women like that? That's what I was.
they used to-
when these ladies
specifically, how do you get a woman like that? I don't know.
Look, stop it.
Easy,
Hey,
easy.
look, y'all stop it. Stop
did-
it. I
we-
said they
okay.
left the room.
Oh, I
already.
We all
Definitely married
married up.
Sucking up.
We all married up.
They,
a bunch of 7th graders going to a high school prom. Jaws hit the ground, and they all
Look,
gave me
it
up.
was
Yeah, but we weren't.
Commercial
because
break,
we didn't
we're
have
all-
the baby blue tuxes.
all of our wives used to drink more than we do. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
If my wife
That
was
is the-
sober, she wouldn't have looked at me and said, "I do."
That is the only explanation. Oh, literally. Okay, so funny story, and I know we're streaming, so for those that are out there, you'll laugh. My wife is known as being wound tight, right? She is someone
Living
who is
with you, I understand.
type A personality, and absolutely, right? So nervous, making sure every little I is dotted, T is crossed, her attention to detail, thank God, because without it, I would be an absolute mess. So I find out after our wedding, my wife, an identical twin, is getting dressed in the back of the church. Her sister walks in, who, by the way, is a nurse.
Before you go deep in this, somebody's father-in-law is watching right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, my father-in-law can watch. He knows this story.
Okay.
My sister-in-law walks in and says, "Bend over." My wife says, "Why?" She goes, "I got to fix something." So her sister has a shot of Finagrin, which, if you don't know, it's a
Yes,
relaxer,
anti-nausea,
right?
yeah.
It's anti-nausea. It's all that stuff, and will also put you to sleep. So literally, the funny part is, my wife, when we got married, was drugged by her twin sister.
Hey.
Is
We
that
believe
what
it.
took for her to say "I do" to you?
Oh,
That is absolutely what it took.
hey, do you remember the movie 16 Candles?
No.
Do it.
Vaguely.
Okay, yeah. Somebody gave her like 3 Valium before, and she walked down the aisle, made it halfway down, and went to sleep in one of the pews, like halfway down.
So it wasn't quite that bad, but all right. Let's see what we have to talk about in the next one. Oh yes, okay.
Are there topics you didn't send us?
So the topics you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Y'all ready to go again?
Curveball.
Yeah, throw me a curveball. Let's do some. Let's
So-
talk about like left-handed baseball bats.
So no, here's what well, there's a couple things we're going to talk about. I've got a great intro to it, so I'm glad you brought that up because it all
What?
ties in.
That left-handed baseball bat's tied into something?
Kind of.
Son of a bitch.
You'll understand.
What did you say?
You'll
with the tux?
understand when
They
we
gave
get
you a
there.
Left-handed tux shirt.
Yeah, when I went to pick up the tux, they gave me a left-handed tuxedo shirt, and I was screwed.
Turn around, you ready? Boys,
What's that? Oh, we got somebody coming.
you got the important foods.
Oh yes,
Nom noms.
yes. We're going to do food. So here's what I'd like to do. If you want to bring that in, we can do it while we're having a break right now.
That
And
bottle
what we'll
did
do
not
is,
last.
Chef, we're going to put you next to Mike Trammell. But you can put that there, and we'll put some stuff down, and we will get a little taste.
He's not going to be on camera.
You're safe. Just watch the nosies.
Okay, can we put him next?
You know, never mind.
Either Renee or Grant. Who wants to jump out this segment?
I'll jump out.
Major sponsor.
Okay, we're going to put him where Grant is.
Come over here when nobody sees you.
Chef,
Wait a second.
Where'd he go? You get to sit next to me. I don't bite.
You slide down.
Okay, even easier. Ah.
See, we're so good looking, Grant, that they don't want the cameras to be focused on us because then it would take away from everybody.
keep telling yourself that.
This is your mic this loud.
Keep telling
it's hard.
yourself
It's hard
that.
being this good looking.
Oh yeah. That's why I didn't lean back. You're gonna want to get
camera is
start
that?
here. Maybe 2 inches or so. Of that mic.
We're going to see in just a second.
Do you mind if I smoke next to you?
Oh no, not at all.
Caleb being polite. What's going on here?
Good, like he was gonna stop.
Caleb got polite? Are you kidding me?
Smoke doesn't bother me.
You gotta pot that mic up, Sam.
Come on.
Chef, you want a quick
Chris
little-
Leger would like to know
little
how I
pour?
go about being an event sponsor and or donating a
Might-
silent auction
never
item.
know.
Tell him to reach out to me via
I might not
face-
finish.
Implicit Bias Facebook. He can
Might
message
get done
us,
faster,
Okay.
though.
and
You
I will
never know.
reach
It might
out
not
to
be good
him
quality.
Monday or Tuesday. So you said Chris Ardwan was the name?
Chris
Chris
Leger.
Leger. So Chris, yeah, go ahead, send us a message via Facebook. It's probably going to be a late night, just so you know. So it'll probably be late tomorrow afternoon, Saturday when I get back to you, but we will absolutely get back to you and we will see what we can do to bring you in and make you part of the crew.
All right, let's do the show.
Yeah, let's do the show.
Now I'm in
We'll
your
get
way.
the,
I'll
we'll get
back
the
up.
cider. No, you good. You good.
Hey, wait a second. Do you see Trammell socks?
Jesus, baby.
What's you got? Cheez-It socks.
Cheese it? Oh, dear Lord.
That's the hey.
Oh,
All right.
Don't make me bring those up. What?
you can absolutely, I could care. Do you really think I can care?
Sock game, man.
Mine are beards.
Gotta have sock game.
Caleb, we know you have a beard.
All right,
We're
ready?
aware.
Good looking.
3, 2.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Implicit Bias. For those on the streaming side, yes, this episode live, you're catching it via Facebook, via YouTube. For those on the terrestrial radio side, you might want to go find our social media pages at Implicit Bias Radio on Instagram, at Implicit Bias on Facebook, and on YouTube. Right now, you're probably wondering, what is that thing you're holding in your hand, Kavan? What, oh my goodness, are you holding? So, Caleb, what's a salvo? Can you tell me what the definition of a salvo? You have to be in front of the microphone.
Look,
You
I'm
know this.
trying here. It's a barrage, or it's a 12-gauge suppressor. But no, it's a barrage. A salvo is normally 3 to 5 rounds of artillery fire, and that looks like 3 to 5 different.
This is like the first salvo in the culinary delight that we are going to engage in here tonight from Chef Willie Gaspard here at Mr. Lester's Steakhouse as we stream live from Mr. Lester's, the Cigar Room, as you can see, Renee Girard, who, by the way, makes hour one of Implicit Bias happen. 3916 West Congress. Go. You don't necessarily have to sit on the porch because it's hot. You know why you don't have to sit on the porch? Because you can go in the Cigar Room at Piper's Haven and listen to Implicit Bias on Saturdays. But we, right now, are in the TSPL, the Top Secret Podcast Lair South, at Mr. Lester's Steakhouse. We have with us the entire crew. We have Caleb Morse, the Rustic Renegade, Grant Galatas of William S. Nacol Jewelers, Mike Trammell of Luxury Limo of Lafayette, Burley Pellerin, and Burley's got Zydeco Ride and Shine. He's got Cajun Car Wash. Burley, you got everything. And I don't mean like everything, like we would normally spell it in English. I mean like
Everything.
no, Eritang. ERRYTANG. Eritang. You got it all. You got it all.
Yeah, well.
And then, of course, Sam Stokes of Better Boot Productions. Chef Willie, tell us about this crostini that I am looking at in front of us.
The bottom is a French bread crostini. Then it's layered with
Chef, get all up in that mic.
Yeah,
Get
there
right
you go.
into it.
Eat that mic like you would eat that peppercorn crusted ribeye that I know is on the menu that I have been dreaming about
You're gonna have
for
one of
about
those
2
tonight.
weeks.
Okay, then on top of the crostini is a Louisiana grown cucumber. Then it's a Louisiana crab meat cream cheese mixture, little roasted red pepper, Louisiana caviar, and micro celery greens.
Okay, so before we kind of dive into this, and we're all gonna get a taste of this, we're all gonna talk about it. But before we dive into it, you said Louisiana like 9 times. And for those who don't realize, we are Implicit Bias is based out of Lafayette, Louisiana. And again, a traditional tie-in to Italy. So in Italy, and this is a great segue to this, in Italy, they are very, very big on you eat what is locally sourced.
Right.
You just gave me, at minimum, 4 ingredients that are locally sourced. Is that something you do at the only 5-star restaurant between New Orleans and Houston?
We try the best we can. It's hard sometimes. The seasons make it hard sometimes. And since COVID, it's been harder to find local product.
But the stuff you've got, I mean, this looks absolutely fantastic. And look, there are some things that they say you should never be on camera and do or be with, like, right? Children, animals, grotesquely attractive women, because guess what? This crew is never going to surpass any of that. The other one is food. So we're going to pass this around. Everybody's kind of got some forks around here. I know we've got some stuff. We're going to let some people taste as this goes around, kind of crack it open and taste. But chef, tell us what inspired the menu that you're going to roll out here tonight. What were you thinking about? What was your thought process?
I was thinking summer and bourbon, mixing it together, making fresh items with as much bourbon as I could.
Have I told you that I love you yet? Because you said summer and bourbon, and summer is that.
I love you too because I never had my food mentioned with a weapon before. I like it. I love guns.
Hey, and sitting. Actually, it was funny because when I met Chef for the first time, he said, "Wait, Caleb Morse, the rustic, does he own?" I was like, "He is the rustic renegade. He doesn't just own it; he is the rustic renegade." He's like, "Oh," and as we all know, you can absolutely lose a paycheck in the rustic renegade at any given time.
You won't lose it.
I'll find it.
You'll get good value for what you spend there.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to lose nothing. You're going to come out very happy.
You absolutely will. And it's what we do here on Implicit Bias. So, Chef, I got to bring you into this conversation because, you know, it wouldn't be Implicit Bias if we didn't talk about the things that we like, well, just because we like it. And, Chef, there was a story that it hurt my heart. The first part of this story hurt my heart. The second part of this story made me happy. And then again, kind of made me sad. So, Chef, the Food and Drug Administration of the United States of America approved something that I can't come up with a name for. They have approved fake meat in the United States of America.
Pink slime.
Fake meat. It's not meat. It's not even fake meat. It's not meat at all.
Right.
Lab grown.
It's, yeah, I love the way Renee puts it. It's lab grown.
I don't even know
meat,
what it is really either. Like,
which makes me wonder. And
Hey, look, I've eaten dog. And I
well,
would draw
Caleb, you need the microphone. You know how this works.
I've eaten dog, and I would draw the line at lab. I would.
And look, so for those who don't know, the Rustic Renegade has been deployed to various parts of the world where the culture is different about what they eat. But in the United States, we were always a steak and potato culture. Right. Wait, what's that, Burley?
Haven't we all though? I mean,
well,
I mean,
you never know, right? You never know because. But anyway, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, and you so want to try to just pull me down that rabbit hole, Burley. Anyway, so Chef, first of all, in a steakhouse like Mr. Lester's, which. And I pretty much bet that everybody here would agree there's not another one in the state. When you source the meat that you bring into this restaurant, you're only getting the best of the best of the best, sir.
absolutely. It's not fake meat.
Well, and therein lies my question. So, you know, we hear people talk about naturally sourcing ingredients all the time.
Right.
And now you've got people who are like, oh, but I don't want to eat real meat. I want to eat the stuff that's created out of something that's not meat. I mean, think about, do you even have, and I know you've told me you actually had an opportunity to work with some of this stuff. Do you have any idea where it even comes from? What do they put into it to make it?
It's mostly soy. It's soy based, and then they add other vegetables to it. The weirdest part about this fake stuff that I tried, it actually bled. So they put beet juice into it, and it actually bled like a burger would bleed when you start cooking it.
That's actually a nice touch.
Wait. Say that again, Grant.
That's a nice touch. Seriously, if you want it to look like beef, they'll stick a fork in it, watch it run all over your plate.
I don't
Helps
know
with
if
the
that's.
illusion.
I don't know if that's
just
nice.
get beef.
I don't know if that's nice or if it's scary. Because at the end of the day, we as an animal, and let's talk about our digestive system for a while, which I know on Implicit Bias, people are like, wait, where are you going with this? Because that can go south real quick. No, here's my point. We've gone through what, according to the anthropologist, a few 100,000 years of evolution, right?
Right.
Maybe a million years, which in the actual grand scheme of things, call it 5 million years. In the grand scheme of things on this planet, that's about 2.5 seconds. Our digestive systems have not caught up with our ability to create stuff to stick in our pie holes. So when it comes time to say, you know what, I'm going to feed myself and feed myself well, if it's me, I'm going to feed myself that walked, flew, or grew out of the ground or swam. Yeah, Ritter's in the back on Swam. I had already thought about it. But yeah, or Swam. And that's pretty much the philosophy with the menu you've got here tonight.
Absolutely.
And then if you would, and if you remember off the top of your head, lay out the rest of the menu we're going to get here this evening.
The next thing you're gonna have coming is a.
I have it.
Oh,
I have it written.
hey, it happens, right?
It happens.
This happens. When you start getting this on the side of your head, remembering whose name is sitting
There you
next
go.
to me is tough.
So your next course is a grilled prawn with a pineapple pico with a chipotle beurre blanc. After that, we're gonna have an heirloom tomato basil soup with crawfish. Salad is a Louisiana cane-inspired Caesar with a fried quail egg and cane-syrup candied bacon. Intermezzo is a blueberry bourbon sorbet. Your fish is a honey bourbon glazed salmon with pink peppercorn cream. Beef is going to be a New York grilled strip, blue cheese crust, caramelized onion bourbon demi. Veal chop is a wild mushroom bourbon au poivre, and for dessert it's chocolate, French silk, bourbon cream, and micro mint. I'm also going to bring you out a ribeye that's not fake.
If I could reach you from across the table, I would give you the Italian kiss on each cheek right now, because that just sounds so incredibly delicious. Renee?
Look, I've traveled a lot. I've been to a lot of steakhouses around the country and the world. I'm here to tell you right now, this place is one of the best steakhouses I've ever been to. The food here is awesome. My wife couldn't come tonight, and she's like upset because she couldn't make it because she had to work tonight. But she wants to come to one of the other ones that we've been here several times before. Love it. So if you're listening or you're watching, make it a point. Make it an event. Come to Mr. Lester's, book you a hotel room, because after you eat here, you're going to need to take a nap. I'm telling you right now.
Put that on a T-shirt.
So number one, there's not going to be any naps after dinner tonight, because I know Caleb and I have a date with the blackjack table, right?
100%.
We also have our wives, me and Caleb, who were able to show up, and I mean, just all the ladies came in, significant others. They're gonna deserve some time that we spend with them too, sitting there enjoying this, and to Renee's point, making this an absolute event that you will remember, because the atmosphere here, there is no place like this anywhere in Acadiana. Grant?
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Borderline rhetorical. You said earlier you had problems getting product. Being in the sportsman's paradise, growing up, born and raised here, whenever you need fish, whenever you need any other kind of seafood, it's all readily available, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just other products
The
that
hardest thing with seafood was crab meat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, crab meat was tough since
wow.
COVID.
I would have thought too. That was just. I mean,
Fish is
every time we
easy.
go fishing down a Cocodrie,
Yeah.
there's little buoys that you just drive in and out of, because there's so y'all don't get it. Do y'all get it locally or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
And look, so everybody had an
so the
opportunity to
demand.
taste that crostini.
Really?
And all I'm
The
gonna say is
demand.
this:
Yeah.
I'm gonna let people kind of comment on that crostini, because I need a moment. And it might need to be off camera after that crostini. That crab meat crostini was absolutely off the charts, delicious. Trammell, what do you want to add?
Chef, I noticed whenever you said New York strip and ribeye, it looked like Caleb put his hand on your leg. I'm not sure where Jackie's at, but I think there might be a little love connection right here after you said that.
Do we have any fruit snacks for Caleb?
Okay, so we got to give the backstory on that, because in the not this version, like literally in every way, not this version of the Top Secret Podcast Lair, the food that we get served are fruit snacks, pretzel sticks, and caramel squares to cleanse our palates. We are experiencing something here tonight that, oh my goodness, we've never had before, and it is so fantastic. Well, what do you want to add to that, Sam? You upset that I'm taking a shot at your TSPL?
I was thinking about bringing some of the snacks, but I realized as I was packing them, like, what am I doing?
Okay, so one thing I do need to get out in front of, and this is something that I warned the crew about on the way up, was, fellas, we have 4 weekly whiskeys, and Caleb is emptying the last of the first bottle here in the TSPL.
This is my just little second pour right here, just because I saw it was about out, and I wanted to make sure I got a little bit more of that one.
Yeah, Kavan sent us a video earlier. It says, gentlemen, eat lunch. We have a bunch of whiskeys to drink, so eat lunch. We're going to eat good after, but we'll drink a lot of whiskey before.
And fellas, these are tastings right here on Implicit Bias. We have more Implicit Bias coming. Last segment of hour one. Is that right, Sam? Am I keeping track of time in my head? Okay, so last
Correct.
segment of hour one. We're going to come back. We will talk our second weekly whiskey and why we're going to play the What Would You Pay Championship Belt Chain competition on that whiskey when we come back on this episode of Implicit Bias. All right, Renee, you take this.
So
I was
I'll tell
distracted.
you, the hardest part about it, there was no pickers.
Well, she knew Chef
could
was
buy
moving in on her
crab.
man. That's why. Yeah, they were like,
Watching the factory lines with those ladies that do that.
well, he put his hand on the chef.
Guys, we'll be right back.
Pick apart a crab.
Kevon needs some private time for whatever reason. I don't know. He's pulling something illegal out of his pockets.
It was hard to find pickers.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Implicit Bias.
And we're back.
Yeah. You know what? That's what we need. We need Sam to voice and we're back.
And we're back.
All right, so make sure that bottle keeps rolling around the table as we get set for the next segment for radio.
Pass it over Caleb.
Yep.
He's heavy-handed.
Yeah, Caleb. Well, so here's the good news. The good news is this is only 94 proof. Now,
Someone named Dylan Galatis says, did Grant get his McDonald's before the show?
yes, he did. So Grant actually brought 6 cheeseburgers with him.
Let me ask you this, because right at the end of that segment, I was about to lean into the mic and go, Chibugga, 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 Chibugga. You remember that? Look,
Oh, I absolutely remember
The
that.
older guys know what that's giving.
Okay, where is my wife?
Jackie, be careful over there. A lot of cables.
Trey, Kay, Kathy, Kathy, Candace, Kathy and Candace.
Caleb, what is this?
And we tried to make her come, but
Which one?
she said she was a
No, that was who is that to?
That's for
She wanted to
Jackie.
make
That's
sure
for Jackie.
she's there.
Okay.
Sorry, Jackie, this is yours.
We also need
This is the chaos in between
yeah
segments.
yeah this is what happens. Miss Neely.
Yeah, give that.
Hey, Miss Neely.
Miss Neely.
Miss Neely. When Chef comes back, can we also have a glass for
What
him,
letter is
please?
this?
It's not the letter that I needed. I'm still one N short.
I would like a Blanton's if we have some extra.
Oh, dude, you think we're gonna? Sam, do you really think I would leave you out?
I got you.
I know. I know you're not gonna leave me out.
I would never do that to you, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Whoa, Ritter. He's got to direct the show.
That's a Ritter pour.
But he's not going to get a second pour because I know
So what
the
is-
guy
this
in
is
my
No,
Blanton's?
no, that bottle's about to get corked because we got 2 more we got to try before the end of the
Right,
show.
just wait for
You
me.
can just put it. Actually, if you bring it to me, please.
Blanton's
Put
what?
that bottle somewhere not near me.
Kevon was asking.
Kevon, give me the rest of the description. Blanton's what?
Elizabeth, do you want to pour?
That's the Nunu's barrel pick.
There's my wife.
Elizabeth, you want a little bit of mine?
Maybe it is.
It's a little bit. It's a little bit. It's hard to see.
They don't do a rye. They do a bourbon.
Dude, pour some of mine.
Okay, so this is what happens between Miss Neely. I will take that. If you want-
Okay, maybe. just under 100. I wrote it down.
Look, Neely will get you a glass.
Thank you very much.
93.
Sam, it was hard to judge it from the top. Sorry.
Please.
Hey,
See, Ritter's used to pouring drinks. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, thank you so much. I've got so many pieces of electronics to pack up.
If I'm here with him,
thank you.
I get drinks. Yeah, and I hate it.
All right.
Mike, you didn't get a hit that 20 minutes. Go ahead.
No, I'm about to order.
Let me finish that off then.
A great adventure, absolutely. No, I can't hear you, and we're streaming, so you're on there. It's okay.
We'll work out
Yeah, you are.
latte.
Ask Sam.
You are.
So we are still, yes, that is my beautiful wife that I absolutely don't know how I got her to say yes. And
We don't know either.
no, I get it.
She was on the Facebook.
All right.
Yes, she was just on Facebook and YouTube.
The Facebook
The Facebook
and the YouTube.
and the YouTube.
Are we ready to hop back in?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's roll. Chef's going to bring in 2 more courses while we're doing this one, and we're going to be good to go.
Blood just ran to my knees. Hold on. Give me like 32 seconds, okay?
Yep, that's enough, Mike. We got 4 more. We got 2 more whiskeys. Wait, where'd your rock heavy tumbler go?
Hey, we back on live yet?
We are on live, yeah. And
Okay.
y'all are blocking every one of the cameras.
Yeah, everybody's got to sit. Everybody's got to sit.
Sweetheart.
Oh yeah, I got Miss Jackie. I got Miss Jackie back on camera.
Oh, thank you. Tell you what, if you just we just hand these to me right here, Miss Neely. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to stand up for a
Perfect.
moment.
Thank
My knees were going out.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that what I heard?
That's exactly
That's
what
the
you heard.
cracking that we are.
And I need fresh knees for later.
Do I want a cigar?
You going dancing?
As my wife blushes and
All
walks
right.
away.
Some kind of way.
Yes.
Love you too, baby.
What's that, Sam? I can't hear you.
You got like
Yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah, I got you now.
Do you have any Swisher Sweets?
Caleb,
Sir,
I need you to lean back. I think one of my cameras got bumped. Let me go move that.
would you like me to go move it?
When you ask the CWAT
I got it.
if he's got Swisher Sweets.
Look, I can't comment on how good that was.
Did Trammell just
On what?
ask?
The food?
The food. Like Louisiana caviar, I didn't realize that we had good caviar down
Did
here.
Trammell just ask for a Swisher Sweet?
He did.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I got it all.
the look on the CWAT's face when I
That's
asked
well,
that.
actually-
Well, when I heard that and I looked over at Renee, I'm
He
like,
said,
what
"I'm
is
gonna kick
going
you in the
on?
ding
Burley,
room."
what actually he asked for something else, and Renee was like, "I don't sell that at my shop."
Can I get your cutter?
Yes, sir. Here's the V cut.
still live. Can you hear me?
I got regular.
But like, I didn't realize and it never dawned on me that our fish, good caviar, right here in Louisiana. Yeah, we are.
No, but just on camera. Though.
Yeah, just on camera, so you can talk too.
Right here.
It's hard to get used to juggling this crap.
It's juggling the mics and everything else. Don't forget your headset.
Look, Sam. Exactly. Sam's trying to make it look like he's hard work without his coat on.
I'm impressed though, man. Like I am very, very impressed by everything that's going on.
You know, we should have done. Sam.
Never smoked.
Don't inhale.
Right here.
This
Don't inhale.
Yeah.
No,
If you inhale,
don't choose.
don't.
We got
Yeah,
two cameras
just
aiming in the same spot.
Mike, just Bill Clinton that, okay?
The line in your mouth
Hey,
will
show
absorb
me
the
one.
nicotine. Right.
Yeah.
So you
One
get
right there.
nicotine. You know what it has? It has
Pass
that couch.
Well,
Exactly.
one of them is wide.
Yeah.
There you go, Grant.
So are we back live?
Yeah.
On streaming.
Thanks.
Right now, right now.
Thank you, Renee.
All right, so those on streaming, we're still here. We're back. We're good.
All right.
Man, I gotta start writing notes. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Let's see.
Man, it's like a welding torch.
So the problem when we get to like the Blantons and the bib that's right there, Blanton's not so much, but all the flats make it hard to see the color. So I put this down as mahogany, and I don't know.
Man.
That's a little
No,
lighter.
it's not that dark.
That's a light caramel.
Save-
more of a white
save-
oak.
Save
Like
that
he's
for
welding
what
over
we're
there.
going to record. Right, save that comment.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
talk about that when we record for the radio show. But for those streaming, yeah, this one's a little light.
Thank you, Renee.
But you know, Blanton's is not a dark bourbon.
No.
They
No.
aren't.
This is actually dark.
Mile.
That's a
All right,
It's darker
fellas,
than normal,
Let's
yeah.
do
Yeah,
the show.
let's
do
go.
The show. All right, 3, 2,
Welcome back to this week's episode of Implicit Bias. I'm your humble host, Kevon Bordelon. We are brought to you in hour one by Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress. And you know what's actually fantastic is that we are sitting in a top secret podcast lair doing something that you cannot do in any restaurant in Lafayette. We are having cigars in the cigar lounge at the newest family member of the top secret podcast lair. The newest family member of Implicit Bias, Mr. Lester himself. Mr. Lester's Steakhouse at Cypress Bayou Casino. You're wondering why, number one, we're streaming. Number two, we actually look comfortable. We actually look like we're enjoying ourselves. Like we have wooden walls and a beautiful bar and a fantastic restaurant and comfortable chairs and air condition, which we don't typically get in Sam's studio. So go ahead, Renee.
And we have cigars with our whiskey.
And we have cigars with our whiskey. So you'll notice, I will say this, I don't smoke a lot of cigars, but here, where we start to build tradition, we start to build culture with Mr. Lester's. The entire crew here, let me introduce you to who is here this week. To my right, you've already heard the voice of the man sitting in the chair of intoxication. He is Rene Girard, Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist, but also the only certified wizard of tobacco in the universe. To the right of Renee, we have Mike Trammell of Luxury Limo of Lafayette. Across the table, Grant Galatas of William S. Nacol Jewelers. The rustic renegade, Mr. Caleb Morse himself. The man, the myth, well, maybe more myth than anything, the legend, Mr. Morse. And of course, to my left, Burley Pellerin of Zydeco Ride and Shine, Cajun Car Wash. And of course, the man who's actually keeping us on stream and trying to corral and herd the cats here is Sam Stokes of Better Boot Productions. So let's jump into our second weekly whiskey. I don't want my cigar to go out, but trying to talk and smoke a cigar is difficult. Our second weekly whiskey from our weekly whiskey partners at Nunu's Markets, Youngsville, Scott, Milton, Maurice. Now, if anybody pays attention in the bourbon drinking world in Acadiana, they had a drop a couple weeks ago where they dropped a private store pick of Blanton's. Now, everybody knows what Blanton's garners when it comes down to, oh my goodness, it's Blanton's. It's all this. I'm going to be brutally honest. We've had a lot of great weekly whiskeys, and normal Blanton's, it's very good. Don't get me wrong. But does it really live up to all the hype? No. The question becomes not, does normal Blanton's live up to all the hype? The question becomes, does this Blanton's that you could have only gotten at Nunu's live up to all the hype? Let's start across the table with a guy who doesn't particularly like high-proof stuff. Let's start with Grant Galatas of the William S. Nacol Jewelers. Grant, you've had some of this Blanton's. What do you think of this particular weekly whiskey?
I've only been taking a sip or two because Caleb reminded me of that little style where you stick it below your lower lip and actually breathe through your nostrils. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to defer to Caleb on this one. And let me taste it for another
What
minute.
a cop-out.
Look, and it's not necessarily a cop out. Like
That is an absolute cop-out.
yeah, it is. Okay.
That is an absolute cop-out,
He's
and
like,
we will call it out.
Call it
Yeah. Hey, yeah, just like your choice in socks.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is
What you say? Look, here's
no sock.
here's the difference. I own it. Yes, I'm not wearing socks. I don't care.
Do the socks and the underwear
As
match?
long as it's socks
Yes.
don't match the underwear. That's what I was gonna say, Caleb.
So, man, what got me on this one is on the nose, it's so floral. I get a ton of floral on the nose, and then I get that on the tongue, and then I put caramel, but I think I get a lot of honeysuckle, like just delicious, thick honeysuckle. It's heavy on the caramel, but man, this is phenomenal. Like you taste the way leather smells. I wrote that because I don't know how to describe it. Like when you're younger and you're trying to play and you playing baseball and everything else, and you smell your leather glove, right? That smells like the game. This smells like bourbon.
Or you chew your leather glove.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the little
And
strings.
It's
Yes,
got
absolutely.
it's got
wait a
that
minute.
on the tongue, which blows my mind.
So wait a minute. Is this Blanton's Nunu store pick? Is this the game?
I think so.
Is it
Like
the Hunter
this-
Hearst Helmsley? Is this the game?
Look, I enjoy Blanton's,
bourbons?
but I've never had Blanton's. Been like, you know what? This blew my socks off. This is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I've had Blanton's before, This is way above the Blantons that we've had.
This isn't normal Blanton's.
No.
This is Blanton's. I haven't
whiskey.
been a big fan of.
It's a good whiskey, but
I
it's
haven't
not
been
all
a fan
that.
of. This is really
This is
good.
all that. This one is all that.
This one even looks different.
So let's talk about the color, because you're right, Burley, and that's a great call out. Short pour in the corner actually finds a nut every now and then, right?
Absolutely.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every now and
Blind
then. No.
squirrel can find a nut.
This one, however, this Blanton's looks, and to me, it's got such a beautiful golden hue. As you hold this up to the light and look at this one, just on the color. Yeah, and I like that, Renee, it's an amber.
Yeah.
Like, I am fully expecting to find a 60 million year old mosquito in this that they will extract dinosaur DNA from and create Jurassic Park in 20 years inside of this whiskey.
It's that color.
It is that color. It is beautiful. So the look on it's gorgeous. The taste, to everyone's point, I like higher proof whiskeys. I like that aggression. This comes in at 94 proof. So Renee was asking the question, what's the proof? This comes in at 94.
Typical Blanton's is a little less, though, is it not?
It's right about the same. It's usually
I
in the
thought
mid
it's
90s.
90, right? 90. I could be
Usually
wrong.
mid 90s. So I actually opened in honor of a championship series, a bottle of Blanton's, just because the wife and I need to drink it so we can put the cork in our letters. But that's a whole nother story. That one was also 94. But the point being, this 94 just drinks different. It is delicious. It is light, but it is flavorful. It coats the tongue. It's got a long finish on it. It is something that is truly unique to me in the Blanton's world. Now, there's two people who can shoot a hole in this here at this table. There's two people who don't like anything. So I'm curious. We're going to start with the fully blossomed bourbon snob at the table of Sam Stokes. Sam, I'm curious as to what you think of this particular Blanton's.
I'll preface this by saying I think Blanton's is my favorite.
Okay.
I love Blanton's.
Okay. Look,
Chef, you're in the way of my camera.
you like
man.
what you like.
All right, yeah, we're good. Yeah, I feel like Blanton's. Whenever you go to a nicer place, a lot of times they'll have Blanton's on the shelf, and it's just, if you're gonna pay that much for a high-end pour of whiskey, it's something that you know you're gonna get a really good pour, and it's gonna go with absolutely everything. I feel like it just Blanton's goes with any occasion. It's just a wonderful down the middle whiskey, like an elevated down the middle whiskey. And I feel like this one in particular, I really love that Caleb said honeysuckle. I feel like you get that nice kind of whiskey caramel on the front end, and then it falls off to a really nice honeysuckle. And I think the fall off is really what it is for this whiskey, because it feels so rounded. It feels like it just drops off in a really nice way. I love the amount of time that it sits with you. I feel like it's just in a nice window, and it makes you want more, which I think high-end whiskeys always do.
Okay, to your point, that's why this would be a problem for me, and I love that you called that out. This makes me want more. And that's the hallmark of something that is absolutely special. Let's go to our other whiskey snob before we start talking about the other two courses that have rolled out here to us at Mr. Lester Steakhouse as we stream live. If you're watching on the stream and if you're listening on terrestrial radio, go find the stream. Trust me, you want to watch it. Mike Trammell, who doesn't like anything, who now has admitted he's had one blue whiskey. Mike, where does this land? Whoa, hold on. There you go. Took Sam a minute to get the mic rolling.
Okay. Sam, are we good?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So usually a Blanton's to me has a butterscotch taste. Anybody agree?
I would agree. Butterscotch, caramel, you get all of them.
Yeah. To me, this doesn't have a butterscotch as much. I'm kind of getting a hint of a little citrus, but really good, really smooth. I'm kind of getting like a little oak too, possibly.
So to your point, I get when Caleb said honeysuckle, I get almost honey dissolved in alcohol type flavor to it. So you get that lighter, and that's where you're going with it, right? Mm-hmm. It's a lighter, airier, almost like it's a summer Blanton's that tastes just so delicious. Oh, Sam's chiming in. He says, yeah, but the guy who's supposed to know about mics doesn't put the mic in front of him.
I mean, I agree with you, and I'm getting that oak as well. I love oak and whiskey. I love the smell of oak, and I'm getting that coming through, and it's tremendous.
Okay, so can we all say this at once? Let's go ahead and rate this on the Morse Whiskey rating code. Is this a 1, 2, 3?
Blue. This is a blue.
Yeah, this is so. Okay, so Trammell has now 2 blues. He's admitted to it.
Yeah, these are my first 2 blues in 3 years.
He can never say
But
he only gets donkey whiskey ever again.
Here's the interesting thing with this one, though. I'm not a Blanton's fan. I mean, let's all the poo-poos and whatever start now. I'm
Don't
just
care.
not. Caleb's doing the same thing, but
No, I mean, it's good, but I don't think it lives
no,
up to the hype.
it doesn't.
Agreed.
It doesn't live
Normal.
up to the hype.
Normal
but
Blanton's doesn't.
Normal Blanton's
Yeah,
doesn't.
Normal Blanton's does not.
This one does
Yes.
100%. This is really really good again.
Okay,
Normal,
so-
normal Blanton's to me, you're just drinking the name. Like that's all
Agreed.
you're buying. Like it's,
Agreed.
it's not
Yes,
that good
100%.
to me.
Okay, so let's talk about living up to the hype. So I'm going to kind of set the stage here. Sam, how much time do we have so I know how much time I can vamp here? About a minute. Okay, full minute. I tell you what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to tell you that we have in front of us a soup and a prawn. Not a shrimp, a prawn. That prawn and that soup are going to come back to us in the next segment on the podcast and radio side of Implicit Bias. We're going to talk about those with Chef Willie Gaspard here at Mr. Lester's at Cypress Bayou Casino. We're going to tell you why they're so special, how they stick with us, and we're going to take a little extra time. We'll talk cigars with Renee because, as you can see, we're smoking cigars in the cigar room, and we are just loving life, living it up, creating traditions, as we hope you will do here at Mr. Lester's when we return with more Implicit Bias.
So I see the pico de gallo. What's the color I see there? The red, the yellow, is that purple?
That's purple onion. Oh, on the side.
Yeah.
That's flower petals and bull's breath microgreens.
Man, it looks like the presentation of that is just phenomenal.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about all the things that go into great food. People forget presentation.
Yeah, that's huge.
Presentation can make or break whatever it is you've got out there, right? So
Oftentimes, if it looks good,
well,
your brain
you
is
believe
tricked that
good.
it's going to be
Correct.
good. So
And
presentation has to do a lot with.
South Louisiana, we tend to like dump it on a plate, put gravy on top, but like this just looks delicious.
It's rice and gravy. But
Yeah.
this is not rice and gravy. I mean, it's,
No, that looks phenomenal.
No, Willie's presentations here are absolutely phenomenal, folks.
Look here, Mike.
Now,
Put a whole
this
sack over
this
there.
Blanton's that we're doing here.
so.
This is a new news barrel pick. That it's a one and done type
Yeah,
thing.
it's already sold out.
It's
We're
done.
on a
We're
microphone.
gonna talk about
Within,
Yeah.
yeah, so within an hour and a half, it was
And
gone.
those of
Yeah.
you on the live stream right now, I mean, look, Blanton's
wait.
is good,
yeah.
but we've said it before. You don't have to spend a lot of money
Yep.
on good whiskey.
So let's do this. We're going to do the What Would You Pay championship belt chain for the live stream, and we're just going to announce it for the terrestrial radio side. So I'm curious, Burley, what would you pay for this bottle of Blanton's without knowing what it cost?
What would you pay? Or I already wrote down.
Oh, here we go.
I ask
Here
the
we go
question
again.
every time
We're not-
because
we're
the
not-
game
here we
because
go
the-
again.
because
We
the
don't have
game
time.
doesn't always go.
What do you
don't
think
have time.
everyone else?
Whatever.
What do you think everyone else charges for this bottle? Put it
Yeah,
that way.
how about that?
There you go.
I'm off.
wanna write a number down.
I forget though. I want to say
Yeah,
it's
just-
over $100, but I don't think so.
Let's
Okay.
hear it.
It's
Let's
got
hear
the
it. Come on.
Blanton's name.
Okay,
No,
so
no,
we're gonna
no,
put
no.
you. So we're gonna put you at $100.
No, no,
We'll just
no,
call
no.
it-
Wait,
no,
you,
we'll
you
just
asked
call-
me
it's
what I would
okay.
pay.
Let's hear it. Come
Well,
on.
then let's hear it. Give me a number. This is
for taking a sip of this whiskey, not knowing what it is,
What?
not knowing that I need that particular horse.
This is a binary question. It is a yes or no. It is a black and white question. A 1 or a 0.
$75.
Okay. All right. Renee, what would you pay?
I would pay $59.
$74.99.
Price is right going on here. Grant,
That's tough. I'd say $65.
65. Caleb,
I already wrote down 105.
105. Sam,
I'll go $84.99.
all right. Chef, you want to play the game?
Sure.
Okay. So, Chef, what you got?
115.
115. Here's the best part of this, right? And this is why playing What Would You Pay with this particular bottle was important. Nunu's put this out at MSRP of $79.99.
Oh.
Whereas if you were to go anywhere else, this is $150 to $200 every single day.
Barely won.
Barely
Right?
At 75.
So Burley gets the What Would You Pay championship belt chain. Let me hand that over.
Wait a minute. This is the first time.
Are you kidding me?
This is the first
I need a
time
forklift.
So
for
wait,
this thing.
Burley was a What Would You Burley was a What Would You Pay championship belt chain
on a
virgin?
game that I hate and that I never understood how we do it this way. You mean to tell me I'm actually
So,
this is my
so
first-
Burley
this
is
my
disqualified
first-
because he doesn't like playing the game.
Hey, wait. Sam.
I didn't say I hate Blanton.
Hey, Sam.
I didn't say no. I never.
Hey,
I
hey.
didn't say I disliked it.
Look,
Okay,
what
okay.
Cue up
What-
Madonna like a virgin.
Hold
since
on.
This is his first time winning
What
the
I
chain.
said was
Everybody stop, because this is a binary answer and a binary decision. Put on the chain. You won. We're going to announce it when we get back, right?
The chef said 115.
No, look, I'm telling you, if you go find a bottle of Blanton's on the shelf,
Oh, it's
90% of businesses that you walk into are going to want to charge 150 as a minimum for a bottle because it's got that
well.
horse
That's
on it.
why I said I feel like it's over $100, and I've bought them, but
Yeah.
I've either bought them on the black market or whatever from somebody.
That's what it is.
I have never gone into a store and actually bought a bottle of Blanton's. I have bought an unopened bottle of Blanton's from someone. And I don't think but I want to say I paid over $100
Yeah.
for it.
I don't
Yeah,
think it's a
you
black
probably
market.
did.
I think it's like the wet market, maybe.
Well, whatever you call it. Yeah, secondary
Call it
market.
All right,
whatever
Sam,
it is.
we ready for
Boys,
Ritter.
just want to let them out. Look,
Ritter?
I know y'all are
Hey.
all black tuxing. I'm
Good to
trying
see you,
wear
bud.
black a little bit.
Hey, beard looks great,
We
bud.
appreciate you coming by.
Beard looks great, baby.
Came in wonderful.
Hey, Kavan, quick question.
Yeah.
Do you find these two bottles comparable? I mean, one's a little bit higher proof, but the general description of what we gave with now
They're-
that I've had a
so
couple
they're-
of sips of it,
they're-
they're very comparable.
They're very comparable. They're very comparable, but they're also very different. Which is, if you want something a little more rounded, more caramel, more deep flavor, more, it's a little chilly outside, I want to sit down and get warm in the chest, that's the Bullet. If you want something it's a little warm outside, I want to sit down, have a cocktail before dinner, kind of warm me up before everything else, that's the Blantons.
See,
Okay.
I'm leaning towards the bullet. I like that bullet.
Are we still just live on YouTube?
We're live on
and-
stream, yeah.
Oh, just on stream? Okay, y'all bite my ass. Y'all said it was a cop out, but I took 2 sips. I took 2 sips and nailed it. So bite me.
You needed to know we were on stream to address the people in the room.
Just Sam, look, put on your coat, Sam.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it anymore. Put on your coat.
I got a lot going on.
Ritter,
Later, Ritter.
But hey, be safe.
what time we looking at? Oh, yeah, we're rolling. Okay,
You ready to jump
Yep.
back in?
let's jump back in.
Let me take this comment off. All right.
Uh-oh, we had a bad comment?
No, I just left it up for a long time.
Oh, okay. I was like, somebody got upset because I want to know who it is because I want to find him.
Burley, how is it wearing that chain, baby?
Hey, Sam. Who asked about the
I'm
cheese?
loving the chain, brother. I love the weight. I can't believe I have never had the doggone the doggone medal.
The chain is yours.
That
All
came
right.
from William S. Nico.
Absolutely, this is solid gold, folks.
Yeah, let's go.
3, 2.
Welcome back into this week's episode of Implicit Bias. Hour 2 is brought to you by Tree Guardian. TreeGuardianUSA.com. No job too big, no job too small. Emergency services available. They will actually come out and consult. Hey, does that tree need to come down? Does it need to stay? Does it need to be trimmed? Do you need tree removal? Do you need stump removal? Whatever you need, Tree Guardian USA can provide it. Locally owned and operated, veteran-owned business out of Rain, Louisiana, 337-852-4880. Go to treeguardianusa.com. And again, 24-hour service. If you've got an emergency, they can handle any job you have. So we are going to kind of give you a zoom forward, right? This is one of those things where if you're listening on the radio side, I want to be really intentional about making sure you understand we did the What Would You Pay championship belt chain on the streaming side. So it happened basically in your commercial. And what happened was Burley Pellerin, the What Would You Pay championship belt chain virgin, won. Because
First time.
He came in at what, $79.99. I think you nailed it. I mean, right on top of the price.
I said 75.
Oh, he's at 75. Here's the deal. The reason we did the What Would You Pay championship belt chain with that bottle is because while it's not available at Nunu's anymore, let me tell you what Nunu's did. Nunu's put their Blanton's barrel pick out at MSRP. And just so you know, last weekend they had a big drop of some other allocated stuff. They might have something else this weekend. I mean, what's the saying? Never twice without a third time. So you never know. What I'm going to say is go to Nunu's. So that being said, let's talk about if you're listening, right? You don't get to see the atmosphere that we are in. And the atmosphere, the tradition we are building is absolutely incredible because the atmosphere we are in is Mr. Lester's Steakhouse at Cypress Bayou Casino. This atmosphere, this has always really been, and my wife is in the other room, as is Caleb's wife and all the other significant others from everybody who's here in the room. This has always been the vision. This has always been what we wanted for Implicit Bias. And you're seeing this get passed around the room now as we have the second and third course offerings from Chef Willie, who is just absolutely killing it here on the show.
You notice I didn't double dip. I wanted to double dip. I wanted to eat that whole bowl. But I didn't do that, Kalon.
I don't have a spoon. I don't have a spoon.
Double dip though.
It's awesome. Chef, you did an awesome job on this one.
Thank you.
Again, I'm about to need a moment off air after tasting that soup. Oh my goodness. That is absurd. So, Chef Willie, if you would, tell us about the soup that we just tasted. So I know you had the menu, but I'm going to just go off what I tasted. It's obviously a tomato basil. Was that crab meat?
Crawfish.
Crawfish. That's what it was. It was the sweet. Yes. Crawfish. Oh my goodness. Like I'm about to melt into the chair.
His legs are crossed now.
For a reason. Go ahead.
So it's Louisiana grown heirloom tomatoes and a crawfish stock, reduced down, finished with cream and fresh basil, and we saute fresh crawfish tails and add to it.
That is absolutely delicious. I mean, one of the things that we have talked about, and we've gone back to that, dining in courses and making this special. Mm-hmm. And this is something that, Caleb just had a moment.
You know what's messed up now? Caleb's got is the last one with the bowl. He's going to finish it.
Oh, no.
So we often talk about this building traditions, this building memories. And I would love to know the perspective you have on this, because what I'll tell you is mine. When we began this discussion, one of the things I said was, my wife and I were, I don't even remember if we were married yet or not, but it was a Valentine's Day, and I happened to get lucky and make reservations, and I'm going back like 1998, 1999, and we make these reservations for Mr. Lester's Cigar Dining Room, because I'd heard the legend of what it was.
Right.
And we get put in this little corner table, over on the right side. So for those who can't see, to my right, there is a fireplace that separates us from another private dining room. And in the back corner, there's a little table for two that's separated by curtains and a column. And at the time, I couldn't afford the dinner. I'll be brutally honest. I didn't have the money to dine out. But the beauty of it is, I remember almost every course of that meal, every sip of wine, every bite of dessert, everything.
Right.
And you can't put a price on that. Have you seen couples come in and get that experience here at Mr. Lester's,
Oh, yeah,
Chef?
absolutely. All the time. And if those curtains on those two boots could talk, I'm sure.
Well, here.
Well, no,
I'm sure he could
Caleb
tell
and Jackie
stories
haven't been there yet.
Give it time.
Here's the thing, though. So you talked about it earlier. You talked about your trip to Italy, and you want it to be an experience.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a place where you can have an experience. And I just had an experience tasting this soup right here. All right. I had a moment. If I had a curtain right here, I'd probably still be behind the curtain.
It would be telling tales.
But here's that soup. And Chef, tell us again what it is exactly.
It's heirloom tomato and basil and crawfish soup.
Okay. So this is one of the things that you taste when you're tasting several things and you look beyond and you kind of tell yourself, I think I'll stop right here. Let me just get a bowl of this.
Right.
instead of a cup. This will be my meal, or this will be my meal next time.
So, and here's why I'm rolling my eyes at you, Burley, because if this is part of almost the aperitivo, what's supposed to make you more hungry, imagine what else is coming. Absolutely. I mean, this is like that. Okay, I'm gonna use the word. I'm gonna say it, chef. The foreplay that you have engaged in with that bowl of soup is world class. It is absolutely world class and fantastic. And there's something else there. Tell us about the other dish that we're about to pass around in a minute.
Grilled and chilled tiger prawn on top of a pineapple and jalapeno pico de gallo, finished with a chipotle beurre blanc.
You had me at, I mean, are you kidding me? So first of all, jumbo shrimp in Louisiana is kind of it's a staple. It's something that we get used to. And to be quite honest, I think we take for granted.
Not only, and of course it's an oxymoron, right? Jumbo shrimp.
It is. But that prawn, I mean, like, I want to come over the table on this one. So we're going to pass that around and we're going to talk about it. While we do that, I'm going to let Renee tell us about the cigars, because one of the beautiful benefits of being able to come here for you bourbon and cigar lovers is you can actually have a cigar in the restaurant. You don't have to worry about, I can't have it, I can't smoke it, I got to go outside the restaurant. You can do it all right here. So Renee, tell us, and guys, Renee, if you would, a couple things I want you to tell us about. Number one, what we're smoking here tonight, because what I had has been fantastic. I put it aside for the soup, but that's a different battle that's waging. Number two, tell us about the partnership that's starting to happen with you and Mr. Lester's.
You've let your cigar go out because you talk too much. And but yeah, I'm smoking an Ashen VSG, which is going great with the two whiskeys we've done. Caleb had an Avo. Kavan had an Avo. Mike is smoking Christoph, which is a cigar brand that we're bringing back in. I've had it years ago. We're bringing it back in. We formed a relationship again. Burley's got a Christoph. And we got with Mr. Lester's, and they're going to start getting cigars, putting cigars in the room that we did years ago. We used to have a partnership years ago. We had a previous employee here that was a great cigar guy, and he's passed over the years. We've formed a new relationship, and we're going to work on that. So you can come to Mr. Lester's. It's my wife and I's favorite place. I mean, this is an event place. When you want to have an event with your special significant other, you come to Mr. Lester's. You'll have one of the best meals that you can have. Their steaks are just that 22-ounce pepper-crusted ribeye. Oh, my God. It's just awesome. That's my go-to steak. This is the place to go to.
So, Chef, I just had a taste of that prawn. And I keep wondering how you're going to top the next course. And that's the hard part, right? Because it's got sweet, it's got heat. The pico is so perfect with all the stuff that's in it. I mean, oh my goodness, just absolutely fantastic. Grant, you want to chime in?
What he actually called it was a tiger prawn.
Yes, so it's not a jumbo shrimp, it's a tiger prawn.
I believe it was actually in celebration of LSU's recent national championship baseball victory. So, look, there's a little bit of purple, a little bit of gold in here.
I love the heat that goes with the sweet, and it's just the right amount of heat. It doesn't burn lasting. And look, that's hard to do. Really difficult to do when you are cooking, because getting just that heat that hits a little late but doesn't overpower and makes it better, that's exactly what you've done. It's absolutely beautiful. So, and Caleb's like, give me the prawn. Give me the prawn.
You know what? Come on, look. I asked him, differentiate between a prawn and a shrimp. And
Chef,
actually,
tell us.
Deep, yeah, here we go.
Deep water shrimp. They're usually caught way offshore in 50 to 100 feet of water.
And for those that didn't catch it on the live stream,
In the Gulf.
yeah, in the Gulf. So it's straight out in the Gulf of Mexico. But for those that didn't catch it, yes, I did eat something off the table that happened to fall off the plate. I mean, it's that good. It is that good. So Caleb, I'm seeing the faces you're making over there when it comes to this. Thoughts?
And look, I haven't had the prawn yet.
I'm still on tomato basil. I wanted to share because I know that Sam always gets second fiddle.
You were kind.
And I'm trying to be very kind. Sam, did you try it yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, well, I won't eat it until Sam gets it because on that tomato basil, just the consistency, the flavor, it's so robust. It blew my mind, and I can't imagine this being better. And I know
That little kick
that
in there.
I know the prawn done right is going to be phenomenal.
So here's the best part. We've got all this food, and it's fantastic. Sam, how are we doing on this segment on time?
You got about a minute.
Got about a minute. So let me tease what's going to come up in the next segment because, you might have heard Sam in the background. He's not giving me the finger anymore, which I'm actually kind of amazed. Maybe he's just happy that he's in this setting. He's
Playing
out.
a little concerto over there.
Yes, he is. He's managing a lot of stuff. My point is this. We've got more weekly whiskeys. We're going to tell you about the weekly whiskey offerings from here at Mr. Lester's and what's about to happen. We're going to give you an opportunity to come down and get a weekly whiskey you cannot get in any restaurant in the state of Louisiana. And we're going to tell you the price on the pour when we come back on Implicit Bias.
I'm scared to touch that bottle.
I got a lot going on, boys.
Yeah, hey guys, remember, we have 2 more weekly whiskeys.
So
We're still streaming, but we're on a little bit of a break. If you need a break, you need to run to the restroom. Go ahead, go.
Hold on 1 second.
He said it's down to the right.
You guys are terrible because you're killing me.
Look, yeah.
Come on.
Go through the restaurant.
I had
look
no
at the
idea that you
exit
catch
sign,
prawn
go back.
out in the Gulf. I thought prawn was like Australian.
Oh, no.
See, I've had Royal Reds before. And
Drinking Blanton, Sam?
and just when you get them, there's
I was.
just the right amount of. I have some Blanton stuff.
He
in it.
poured me way too much.
I'll do it in a second.
Oh,
I'll
man.
catch up. Don't worry.
No, you're way ahead.
All right.
You're not catching
Just a
up.
little taste. That's all I want. But look, here's the prawn.
Caleb, you are not even catching up. You are way ahead.
Well, look,
Okay, so Sam,
I can still do math. All right.
Sam, how's our streaming audience out there?
Pretty good. We've been holding.
Royal Reds like in
We got
Gulf Shores,
the 60 right now. So we've been.
Okay, so here's the big thing.
The comments section is very, very.
If you
alive,
are
too.
streaming, here's what we're gonna ask: share Implicit Bias. Share this stream.
You have-
Follow us on YouTube or Facebook if you're not already, and share the streaming post. Share this stream so everybody can see it because
Y'all can't go back to the room
we want
early now.
everyone to know. Number one, what they get when they tune in to Implicit Bias and the beautiful Miss Jackie making her appearance. And okay, so first of all, that's impressive because that is like a straight up 9-inch heel that she just stepped over our lighting with. And I stopped myself because it's a 9-inch blank heel, which we know what that blank is, right? Yeah, we know what it is. Fantastic. Oh, what you drinking, Miss Jackie?
I thought that comes before.
pecan praline.
Old fashioned?
Old fashioned.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like an old fashioned.
It's very good.
Oh, okay. So wait.
How many have you had,
we have
Jackie?
we have to tell a story. We have to tell a story because Miss Jackie once came to my house and had an old fashioned.
I'm still not there for straight whiskey.
And she was like, it's good. Which I knew was, I don't like it. Now, she comes here to Mr. Lester's. And what does she have? She has a pecan praline old fashioned. And she's like, oh, I like this. So the differential in reaction is absurd. And here we go. Look, I love the ladies just flowing in. I'm guessing my wife is behind me. I'm hoping so because I can't really see.
Holy fuck!
Yeah.
So, yeah, Caleb, you like the prawn? Because
That
yes,
is
we are on
delicious.
stream. And I heard that.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's all right.
I really want a cigar, man. I don't have hands for it right now, but I really want one.
Do you want me to let you puff on my cigar?
I was about to say,
No, man.
Sam, you just want some. You just want something in your mouth. It's okay.
Yeah, Sam, that's what she said.
After the fact, you and I are gonna sit there and smoke an ash. I got
Hell yeah.
This is wonderful.
I mean,
Like the tomato basil was.
there's not a lot of experiences like that. To get to smoke a cigar with Renee, it would be
Yes.
like to get to shoot guns with Caleb.
Yep.
To get to visit Munchkin Land with Kavan.
Yes.
I mean, these are things. If
Hey.
you have those opportunities,
To
Just
get
know this,
divorced
Sam.
with Grant.
Just know this, Sam. I'm the mayor, so you get to know everybody.
there you go.
And here's the best part. You fit right in.
Grant, have you had this one?
I did. That's
I
what I was
just-
saying. I didn't know you could catch prawn out in the Gulf. I thought that was strictly like Australian.
in front of me.
prawn is like big shrimp.
Hey, Burley.
It's where there's water.
Yeah.
No, seriously. I mean, look.
Okay.
Hey, I've gone to Silvermore Point and thrown my cast net on 15, 20 pounds of free shrimp. I didn't know you could go out in deep water.
Sam, how far out are we?
In the Gulf.
How far out are we from what?
I had
Next
no
segment.
idea.
Let's roll.
All right.
They're just bigger, huh?
Oh, yeah, we need to roll.
That's crazy.
All right, everybody.
Look at Burley. Burley
Huh?
got
Y'all
the
don't have to go.
chain
You
on
can
his
stay.
neck, baby.
Come on. You want to try that?
We got 17 minutes.
Because we're about to do
First time ever.
we're about to do the cognac cask redemption.
All right, everybody ready?
Yep.
Everybody ready? Yeah, right.
Jackie, are you chilling there or are you getting out?
Hey, Sam.
No, she can stay right
Sam
there.
doesn't
It's
have
on
his coat
radio.
on.
It's all right,
I'm
Jackie.
just asking. I don't know.
Sam's not
Be
wearing
where
his
you want to
coat.
be.
Sam hasn't had his coat on.
Sam,
Yeah, I
give me
know.
the 3, 2, 1. We're good.
Put on
All
your
right.
coat, or I'm taking off mine.
Fuck. We're a
Wait,
minute
did
away
you
from
just
that.
ask
We're
him to
still
do something?
live. We're still live.
I mean, we're live on Facebook.
that's
And YouTube.
unnecessary.
Yeah, the FCC.
We're live
No,
on Facebook.
No, not the SEC,
YouTube.
the FCC.
Did you say we were on Grinder now?
Federal
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Communications Commission.
Wait a minute. That's your side.
No, it's his site.
We're live on
Sam,
Friday.
Sam,
Chanel.
Well, hold 1 second.
No, I think
One second.
you're killing me
I
here.
was gonna say, come sit on the arm of my chair, but you'd be blocking the camera. Yeah.
All right. 3, 2.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Implicit Bias. We are in hour 2. Hour 2 is brought to you by Tree Guardian. TreeGuardianUSA.com. No job too big, too small. Emergency services. You can find them at TreeGuardianUSA.com or give them a call in rain at 337-852-4880. So, we just had Chef on here with us as we are, number one, streaming this episode for those that might just be tuning in from Mr. Lester's Steakhouse. Mr. Lester is the newest member of the crew here on Implicit Bias. And let me tell you, we could not be more thrilled that he opened his doors to us because we're flat out bougie this week. I'm not going to lie. If you're watching on stream, we're in black tie. We're doing this the right way. We've got our beautiful significant others, wives with us. And guess what? It's worth every penny, every second, because we are building tradition. And that is what we do. And it doesn't matter who you bring with you. It doesn't matter who is your significant other. It doesn't matter who's important to you. Just bring them down here. Take the time, experience it. And one of the things that Mr. Lester's is doing is they're ready to say, hey, look, if you love bourbon, if you love whiskey, we want to present to you what is really special at something that you will not find anywhere. Otherwise known, AKA an alias, MSRP. In other words, the weekly whiskeys that we are going to taste from here on out, I'm going to give you prices on. And when I give you the prices, you're going to kind of flip out if you're a bourbon and whiskey lover. So we are starting our cavalcade of blue whiskeys. For those who don't know, the Morse whiskey rating code. Red is I wouldn't drink it even if
Did
it was
he
free.
just say cavalcade?
I did say cavalcade.
That's fantastic.
That's a word I'm unfamiliar with.
I love that word.
Yes.
Love that word.
First time.
Yes.
That's way too many
Are
syllables.
you?
at
You're
this point.
not being serious.
I'm serious. I've never heard
So
cavalcade.
our
Cavalcade is a great word. That's
Cavalcade, door jam, these are all new things to me.
You know what? Hey,
So-
wait. Let's try and spell it because last week y'all
Nope,
y'all had
nope, nope, we're not
loquacious.
spelling.
You had
We're not
loquacious on
spelling.
the show, and
We're not
like, you
spelling.
confused the entire
Because I
planet.
can't spell.
CAVAL cavalcade. CADE.
Oh,
Cavalcade.
there you go. Our spelling bee champion, Burley Short Pour, a.k.a. Dead Man Walking.
Hardware
Yes.
to prove it.
Yeah, now spell
Okay,
loquacious.
so let's jump back to our weekly
LOQ.
whiskey. Let's jump back to our weekly
UA.
whiskey.
You're wrong already.
QU.
I'm going to tell Sam to start turning off mics. That's all I'm saying. Our third weekly whiskey.
You have that power?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Because I write the checks. So our weekly whiskey for number 3 here at Mr. Lester's is this. It's incredibly unique. It's another blue. We've already had it on the show. But oh my goodness, as this bottle goes around the table and you get a taste, it is Redemption Cognac Cask Finish. Now, as I said, the price that you're going to pay for this, if you come to Mr. Lester's, is absolutely ridiculous. This is a $9 pour. Huh? Yeah, Caleb just looked at me and went, wait, what? Huh? So understand, if you go anywhere and find this bottle of whiskey, number
Actually,
one,
he said, huh.
He did say huh. But if you find this bottle of whiskey, It's an $80 bottle of whiskey on the shelf, 60 to 70 to 80 depending upon the store.
We haven't done what would you pay yet, so
No, we're not doing the what would you pay.
All right.
Because you know what? This is what you'll pay to get a pour of this at Mr. Lester's, $9.
Wow.
$9 a pour. As we go through this particular weekly whiskey, and we had the prawn. Yeah, go ahead, ring the bell, Burley, because that is absolutely on point. This is going to start the Implicit Bias weekly whiskeys at Mr. Lester's. This is one. And as everybody gets a taste, and we go through this, and look, the sad part was I started before all of you guys did. I know y'all were still kind of in the break. I sold state secrets and lots of important stuff, right? And from there, we jump into our weekly whiskey, and somebody caught that joke. Oh, Mrs. Implicit Bias needs a sip. Absolutely. So let's start with you, Renee. What do you think about this?
This whiskey's got a little bit more legs than the first two that we did. It's got a little bit of a bite. And, you know, you sold state secrets, and you know what? You're still not going to go to jail like the rest of them people are. This is a good whiskey. I'll be honest with you, though. The first two we had, I liked a lot more because they're smoother. This one's got just a little bit more heat to it, a little bit more, what do you call when it hits the back of your tongue?
Aggression? Caleb? It's Caleb's word.
No, that Kentucky hug.
Oh, you're thinking of
See, aggression is when it comes at you and it's at the front. I don't know what it feels like to have someone hit the back of my tongue.
Yeah.
So, Caleb, let's jump to you since you're in front of the microphone and you commandeered that, and that's okay. So this particular weekly whiskey, this has always been a blue on the show as you taste it. What are your thoughts on this? And on top of the opportunity to be able to come to Mr. Lester's and say, man, I want to pour this and get it for $9.
That price, first off, is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's unreal.
And I don't like cognac finished. I don't like all the other, like the port and all that other stuff. This one is just sweet enough. Like this would be a great way to finish my meal.
Yeah.
It's just sweet enough. This to me is a dessert.
Yeah.
It's so good. I know a guy who he's a huge fan of the Redemption series because it like coincides with who he is as a person. And this, it's a blue. It's different.
It is.
It's very, very different.
Which is what I love about
the flavor profile. It's a little bit thinner. It's not as viscous. It doesn't stay around as long, I don't find.
Really? Because I get a long finish on this. I get that flavor that kind of sticks with me, and Renee gets it too.
Maybe it's because of that sweet. That sweet, my palate just doesn't really notice the sweet. Like I won't say notice, but it doesn't really hang on to that sweetness because it's almost a candy.
And this is what I love about what we do on this show, which is we've got a lot of people with a lot of different likes when it comes to whiskey.
We have implicit biases.
Oh, shocker. We have implicit bias. We like it just because we like it. But necessarily what you like, Caleb, is a little different from what I like, which is a little different from what Grant likes and Mike likes and Renee likes and Caleb likes. And, of course, Sam doesn't like anything. So
No, Mike doesn't like anything.
no, Mike doesn't like anything. But the whole point is I would absolutely taste this and be thrilled with it before dinner, almost as a cocktail without anything else in it. I would also be fine with this after dinner. Grant, you want to chime in?
Yeah, again, I didn't look at the bottle again, that little game I play with myself. Is this a lighter proof? Is this below 100? Because
Yes.
I agree with Caleb. It's okay, thank you. Because, again, I agree with Caleb that it's definitely lighter on the palate. I'm not getting as much sweet from the first two that we tasted because the first two were so pleasant because of their sweetness. This one, it's light, it's kind of airy. You know, but I don't get that really hard bite.
And let's take Burley's take on
The
this.
interesting thing with this one is it is 99 proof, and I had to check it because I'd have bet money that it was over 100. Because when you put your tongue on, you take a sip, you put your tongue to the top of the mouth, it's got a little burn to it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't typically get that under 100.
Yeah.
I don't. But this one, and I'm not a big fan of crazy finishes. I don't believe I was on the show when we rated it a blue.
Probably not.
Because I probably would not have at that time. That would have been early on. I don't remember what the date was on that. But that would have been early on the show. I've since expanded my palate and my horizons a bit. But this is very nice. But I would enjoy this simply because I do get the burn, and I do like the burn because I'm a high rye guy. I didn't check the composition of it. What's the mash bill on this? Do we know?
I don't have a mash bill on this, but and here's the best part. We really have to give a shout out to take a guess who made this particular whiskey happen. Anybody have an idea of who might have made this happen?
Steve.
Not Steve. Renee, say that again.
The Whiskey Fairy?
The Liquor Fairy, aka Big Whiskey, Kenny Michael. Look,
Really?
out of New Orleans.
The man that makes your liver hurt.
Yes, he is the man that makes your liver hurt. Kenny made this happen. We appreciate him making this available here at Mr. Lester's, where we kind of have to take a break from the weekly whiskey, and we've got to talk about, because Sam, we've got 2 segments after this. We're in the third to last segment of the show.
Yeah, we're in the 6th
Yeah,
segment.
yeah, we're in the 6th segment. So we are hour 2, segment 2. We always often talk about topics that are going on in the world, and there's so much going on. And I kind of threw this in where I was like, hey, I'm selling secrets. And it fit. And the whole point being, we're at a point in the world where secrets there are none. There almost are no more secrets.
Well, it's not that they're not secrets. There's just a different currency.
What do you mean different currency?
There's always been money being exchanged for secrets. And look,
Since the dawn of time.
yeah. And then here we are now. The federal government's come out and said, look, aliens exist. This exists. There's so much more going out there.
And please, again, don't believe us on all this stuff we're talking
search
about.
for it.
Please go look it up. Go and look. I'm going to be completely transparent. The comment of "I've sold state secrets" was followed by "all kidding aside." We have to be honest about what was said. But Caleb, what you and I know is that oftentimes, and what everybody on the show knows, is that we will put out things as jokes that aren't completely jokes.
There's
Freudian
always
slip.
truth in humor.
It's a
And
Freudian slip.
The Freudian slip. You're right.
Correct.
So Caleb, you were talking about different currency. That different currency, since secrets have always been sold, what is that different currency?
We've always kind of traded intelligence for intelligence. I'll give you a little bit of mine. You give me a little bit of yours. Look at the past. Look at the history. Back in Vietnam, look at the Cold War, everything else. Information is a currency of its own.
So let's talk about the world that we are in today. We are in a world where information is king. Data is king. Data is just a synonym for information. There are companies who have all signed on to different software systems that all they are data collection systems. They are information collection systems because that information is valuable. So much like we are about to give away, because someone's information is about to get them $500 at Mr. Lester's, please, gratuity not included. Make sure you take care of your servers and a hotel stay. Your information is going to get you that much. Imagine what other companies are selling your information for.
And that's the thing. When you look at your cell phone, look at your cell phone provider, look at Facebook, look at all the meta companies, look at all the other stuff. Information is currency. Look at digital currency we're trying to go to now. Do you think there's a real tangible thing backing that?
What's up? Say, are you giving me the 1 minute finger by raising your hand?
Like 2 minutes ago.
Okay, so
that's
understand.
good, yeah.
So understand there is tangible currency. We got the 1 minute finger. We're going to come back with the Sam Stokes segment of this week's episode of Implicit Bias. 2 more courses at Mr. Lester's. We're going to talk about our final weekly whiskey in the final weekly whiskey segment, and we're going to give away that dinner. Stick with us. We'll be back. And I hope you're having as much fun sampling your weekly whiskeys as we are on IB.
Holy cramola.
Are they still listening on stream? Yeah.
So they're still on stream.
So on
We're still
stream.
live.
Look, Caleb, I want to disagree with you a little bit on this one. I think this one lingers nicely, which is not, which is.
This is definitely a whiskey I want to drink after dinner.
Yeah, this
but look,
lingers
the
a little
flavor,
bit.
The
And
flavor's
it-
not there. The first 2 we tasted, the flavor just stayed with you. But this one hits you with the burn immediately, but then it just kind of goes.
But it
away.
hangs around, and I want to find
Miss
out what
Neely,
the
thank
mash
you. I'll
bill
keep
on
my
this
fork
one
so
is
you don't
because
have
I
to
think
bring
it's
another fork.
it's got to
probably
be some
we don't
high
even know.
rye
I
in
would
here.
think there's a lot of rye in there.
I
It's
would,
like-
gotta
I would
be.
say there's a lot of rye.
with
Chef,
me, when I
you wanna sit
taste it,
next
I
to
get
the
like that
skinny
2-3
Cognac
count,
can.
and then to me, it's gone.
Yeah, see.
But
I don't think it goes. That might be that cigar that messed you up earlier.
well, I'm sitting there thinking about like a second cigar right now is what it is.
Well, it might have messed you. The cigar might have messed you up.
I agree with Caleb on this.
I got to the heart right
The
here.
first two are superb to this.
I know.
When I got to the heart.
This one sits, man. I like it.
Flavor.
I like
it was like
this.
a freaking flavor bouquet on those first two.
one's
This one,
lighter or
it's got a great taste, but I tell you what, it doesn't have the absolute overwhelming growth factor.
Yeah, I think.
I'd put this two behind. Right now Blanton's would be third for me. I can tell you all that. That Blanton's would be third.
Third.
Would you put this third?
Hurry
I'd
up,
put this
Sam.
second.
I'm with Mike.
Nope. Nobody
this
said
one
Sam
second.
could have a bathroom break.
No.
Sam's trying to figure out where the restrooms are. Nobody
I
said he
thought
could have a
Sam
bathroom
just
break.
went wherever he was.
All right. I remember.
We've been in the Top Secret podcast layer
Yeah.
of Better Boot. I mean, that's
There's
what it looks like,
stains in
right?
his chair. I thought that's just how it happens.
This is the one I remember from the lineup. That crusted bacon.
And that looks amazing. And look. I want
I don't want to put that in front of me.
I want to beg forgiveness because this is my first time
will
here
make it
because I've
fire.
always gone further. This
I say we put it
this
all
Because
location
I will
to
stab
me
you in the
is
jugular
worth.
with a fork if it doesn't.
I always thought it was a little bit too far. This is worth the travel, and it's not far.
I can't hear you.
Hey.
At least 4 times.
Can I sit at the blackjack
Oh,
table?
it's amazing.
Awesome.
Long as you listen to the group.
My wife was
I
upset.
take that back. I'm gonna put this third. That Blanton's is pretty good.
Yeah.
I just followed it up.
You got a lighter, bro?
Kavan, I just followed up that
Yeah.
redemption with another sip of that Blanton's. I
Uh-huh.
would put it 1, 2, 3 in the order that we've had it. I really would. I'd put the redemption third. That Blanton's is good.
So here's the deal. What we are about to offer, because those first two you can't get anywhere else, and they're done essentially. What we're offering here are tastes that you can get that are literally, to Renee's point, unobtainium.
Right.
So wait. That, first of all, that cognac cask, if you want to open up a night with that, and what I would tell you is have them in reverse order and you might change your mind,
This is true.
right?
This
have
is
them in
true.
reverse order and you're like, oh, what we have had are 3 ridiculous whiskeys that
Thank
you're
you,
not
baby.
going to get anywhere else.
But for $9, so you're saying they can come to Mr. Lester's,
Yeah.
sit at the bar
$9.
right here, and they can order that for
There is-
$9.
So
Anywhere
Burley-
else you go, there's so much, and I hate to say worse because it's not bad.
It's bad
But
stuff.
For
Well, it's not
$9,
bad
you
stuff.
can you can pay a lot more for a whole lot less.
So Burley, you asked if people can come here and get that for $9. I'm going to ask you a question. Burley, did I stutter?
Nope.
No, I didn't. Do you have a hearing issue?
No, I don't.
No,
Look, the
you
air gets
don't.
thin up there, and sometimes you have to project a little bit. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, because I'm not loud enough as it is.
Right. Well,
Please.
and I'm not wearing headphones. Keep
This
in
is
mind.
true. This is true. To Burley's point. Yeah, we got to make sure Sam gets a splitter for the next show.
Yeah, we need a
It'll
splitter.
be all right. It's all Sam. By the way, for those who are watching on stream, Sam has done a fantastic job because literally, this is just the toe in the water. This is
Yeah,
the
this
first
is-
time that we've done this.
And this is a big production.
it's a lot of work.
When we pulled all this stuff out, I'm thinking, good Lord, man, I hope you know where all this stuff
And
is
with
going.
the 7 people sitting at Mike's, it's like herding
And he's
cats.
by himself. I mean, and
Yeah.
he's
Renee,
managing all
the
of this
crux.
stuff up here
Yep.
by himself.
Renee, this crux with that cognac finished,
Yes.
that's the match.
Bruh.
Renee, I
That's the
smoked
match.
a whole cigar over here, by the way, and
That's
and
that's
I-
the VSG, right?
No.
Or VSO?
I had an avo.
That's what I had
Yeah,
earlier was the
So
avo.
what is that Caleb has now? What is that?
That's a Crux Bull and Bear. It's a fuller body
Y'all,
cigar.
okay, stop for a second. What the hell happened to Mike's hat?
I think
Did he sit on that?
And look, it's a very nice chapeau.
But yeah, it's
It is a nice
you wanna
chapeau.
try?
a stronger cigar.
Yeah.
Try that with
Yeah.
try
I mean,
that with the cognac
be-
finish.
Because
That makes it
because of
linger
the-
more to me.
Yeah, because of the more
Drags
heat,
it on.
The more heat with the cognac finish, that Redemption's a
Now,
stronger cigar.
That's a Maduro wrapper, or
No, it's just a sun-grown wrapper.
okay.
It's awesome. In fact, that's
Oh,
my
so this is
regular.
with the cognac?
Yeah, it changed the whole flavor of the cognac.
In fact, when I watch hockey games, when we watch hockey games at the shop,
yeah.
that's my cigar I watch hockey games with because it's just like it's got a lot of flavor. It's a fuller flavored cigar with that heavier whiskey. I think that's why I
See, and
think
that,
it goes.
that's what blows
great
my
with
mind is like when I think about the knowledge I have for for shooting long range, CQB, everything else. And it never dawns on me that people know that kind of level of information for cigars, for pairings.
Well, I mean, and it's really not that difficult.
We'll get you one, Sam. Don't worry.
What it is you want to balance the strength of the cigar with the strength of what you're
Okay.
drinking.
Well, that
If you get a smoother lighter, you want smoother
Yeah.
lighter.
Yeah.
You don't want this whiskey to overpower
No.
the cigar,
from
but
down
you don't
here,
want
or-
the cigar
you want it to
overpower-
compliment, but I'll tell you
Right.
what, this cigar right there just pulled out a lot of sweetness in that redemption for me.
Hey, Sam.
So you want
Hey, Sam.
So that's
Let's
Duffel
roll.
shrimp you serving?
I don't think I'm going to want another cigar, but just because the first one was great. Unless you have another one of those, I would smoke another one of those.
What you got for
The,
us
what
now?
was that? The Avo. I like that.
Avo.
If this one's a little heavier, but
Yeah.
I just took a puff of that, and with this, it pulls out a lot of sweetness out of the redemption.
Yep.
Do you have something
It's
Sam
interesting.
level in there? In
Well,
your,
I got
Sam
Hey,
is finally
just so you know, Sam's giving you the finger.
he is finally ready for his cigar.
No, I got something special for Sam.
Well, then-
I'm going to
I might
give
have to
him a VSG at the end of the night after we're all done. Like him and I smoked a few months ago on the tailgate of my truck. We sat there and smoked a National VSG together, and he was like, "Oh man."
Well,
I brought him one just for that.
he whispered sweet somethings. He whispered sweet somethings in my ear.
Sam's
and was
happy,
like,
happy, y'all.
I am ready for a cigar. That's what he said. So
Caleb just let me borrow his cigar, and it tasted
anybody
like
see this?
Caleb. Man, oh man.
Okay, Sam, that's a frightening sentence. I don't even want to go there.
Gunpowder and aggression. Yeah. All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's roll.
3, 2.
Welcome back to the Sam Stokes segment. That is the penultimate segment of this week's episode of Implicit Bias. That means we have this segment and one more before we are done, which means we have one more segment before we give away dinner for two up to $500 and a hotel stay, gratuity not included, at Mr. Lester Steakhouse and Cypress Bayou Casino. So for those lucky viewers who are streaming with us, great. We're going to contact our winners through Messenger on Facebook. So we're going to reach out to you. We're going to find out who that winner is. You will have 30 days to come claim it. 30 days to come claim your prize when we announce the winner. But in the interim, we have two more offerings from Chef Willie Gaspard here at Mr. Lester. Chef, so first of all, okay, should we do the palate cleanser before the salad or the palate cleanser after the salad? Tell us.
Do it after.
Okay,
Do the
after.
salad first.
So go ahead, Renee, get yourself a small bite.
How do you eat this? I mean, this is I want to eat the whole thing all
Guys,
at
a
once.
few extra pieces of bacon, so I'll get a piece of bacon.
Oh,
So, Chef, look, this is on video. So for those who are streaming and get to see it, tell us what this is. That looks, that's a quail egg, right?
Yep. Quail egg. So it's a Louisiana cane inspired Caesar salad. I made the dressing with Steen's cane vinegar. The bacon is candied with Steen's cane syrup.
I see that.
The croutons are cornbread croutons. And it's
Cornbread
Cornbread.
croutons.
and
Oh
it's
my
finished
goodness.
with a fried quail egg on top.
Okay, so
this is definitely not
this
something you
this
want
looks
to share.
absolutely, yeah. As Renee said, he doesn't want to share it. As we start to get that quail egg and we get the yolk throughout all the salad, I love again where you went with this. You went local.
Absolutely.
So what came into your brain that you went, oh, I absolutely
think he
need
got it on
to
his
do
coat.
this?
Where the casino's situated in basically a bunch of cane fields. That's where we're at. We're in the middle of cane fields.
That bacon
So-
is awesome.
I
I got
incorporated
some
as much cane that I could in a classic Caesar salad.
Okay, so they say never eat on the air, but this is one where I'm like, all right, I've got to get just a bite because it looks so incredibly delicious. We'll see if we can do this without dropping it like Renee did. Again, every course seems to top the last course. And look, there's Miss Neely, who is helping us out here from behind the bar, and she is making sure that Renee has something to wipe the food off of himself. But this is, Renee, I got to get your take on this because you had the first bite.
Look, this is not something you want to share. You just get one for yourself and eat it because all of it is awesome. The bacon has got the sweetness to it. I've never had a quail egg before. I've never eaten it. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. You got a look on your face. What's the deal?
Get a piece of that cornbread.
I don't know. I'm spitting stuff all over.
Yeah, you're spitting stuff on me, and I'm looking at you going, you've never had a quail egg? Look.
This is South Louisiana, where you can't go a block without finding pickled quail eggs.
So I've never had a pickled quailed egg. Quailed egg, a pickled quail egg. However,
Well, this is not a pickled quail egg.
it's not. That's the point. A fried quail egg is so delicious. So, if you like eggs at all, when you start getting into those other species of eggs, when you start getting into duck eggs, which are really, really rich, and quail eggs, which are so
Wait a minute.
flavorful.
Hang on.
The yolk-
You mean to tell me you've never taken a road trip with your buddies and brought a quart of pickled quail eggs? Because that's the funniest stuff to do in a road trip.
Yeah, people
Okay,
don't expect it.
so
because
it
about
is-
20 minutes later,
Yeah.
it turns into fun.
Burley, did I
Am I right, Willie?
Again, Burley, did I stutter? No.
Renee,
Quail egg left for me.
I didn't even have any.
That sorbet is awesome. I mean,
so,
it's
so I just slipped my room key to
sorbet
chef
is,
at the sorbet.
blueberry
Jeez.
Okay, so let's give Chef a second. Tell us about the sorbet.
sorbet is blueberry bourbon sorbet.
Wait. Fill me in here. Blueberry bourbon sorbet?
Yes, sir. It's fresh ground blueberries, bourbon, honey, and a touch of heavy cream. And I froze it.
Beautiful palate cleanser in house.
Man, that
which
is good.
which again, if you've never been to a restaurant that really takes care of you, they will give you something to cleanse the palate so that the next course you can truly understand as far as those flavors go, and that one is absolutely off the charts.
Oh man.
That's ridiculous.
so you know what that means is that those dark chocolate caramel
I haven't finished the salad
squares
yet,
that you
Sam.
bring.
You want
that's
that,
done. We needed the sorbet thing in between tastings.
Look,
So Sam, you need a sorbet machine in the normal TSPL, just because. And if not, we're gonna transfer.
We'll have to get Chef to make
Yes, we'll get Chef to make us some. We'll keep it in the freezer. That is the new palate cleanser on Implicit Bias.
There was a long portion of my life where I didn't like salads. What was that? That was a salad? Oh my god!
Sam, I'm still there. Like normally, I'm like, oh, my food eats that.
Correct.
And look, the quail egg didn't make it to me. I think it stopped at Renee.
No, you've got. I see a little on the side
I
of the
see a little
plate.
yolk. There's yolk, but
Actually, it stopped on his jacket. He dropped half the egg on his
a
jacket.
quail egg's the size of your thumb, roughly.
And then
Like-
Renee spit the rest on my sleeve. It's okay.
So quail eggs, size of your thumb. Duck eggs are a little bit larger. Then you have chicken eggs, ostrich, everything else, right? So and then the yolk is what makes the flavor. There's a little hint of the yolk on here. And normally when I get offered a salad, I'm like, yeah, okay. This is fucking ridiculous.
And there's Sam with the first edit of the night. We knew it was coming at some point.
Just wait.
Caleb, let's remember, we are live streaming.
But
It was
how
only-
often
it was
do you
only a
get?
matter of
How
time,
often do
folks.
you get salad with bacon? It's just like, man, that's
Wait a minute. Every
unreal.
salad I ever
Okay,
eat
yeah,
now
every
these
salad
days
should
has
have bacon.
in it. Yeah,
However,
for sure. And
to-
boiled eggs.
I think this is what Renee meant, which is I've had salads with bacon before. They don't taste like that.
Not this bacon. This is
That's-
normal bacon, Willie.
Yeah, that's different.
Yes.
So here's what we're going to do. Chef, we're going to let you go because we have one more segment left in the show. And I know you've got some entrees that you want to roll out. We want people to see those. We're going to give away dinner. We're going to keep talking here for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to bring you back if we can. What you got, Mike? No, we'll take you,
Can
Mike.
we focus in to Caleb right here when he takes his taste right here? Man, I'm telling you, y'all, that is
legit right
that
there.
is 5-star.
Blueberry bourbon sorbet.
So in the last
is-
segment,
dude.
in the last segment, we have one more weekly whiskey. Sam, how much time do we have?
We got a bunch. And chat wants to know which bourbon is the sorbet made
Try
with.
this right here.
So
Willie, what's
Willie,
the
we have a
bourbon in
question.
the sorbet? Anything
Jim
particular? Jim
Jim
Beam.
Beam.
Go ahead. There you go.
Well, okay, so Chef, let's take this second to talk about liquors that you cook with, because I know there's some philosophies of if you won't drink it, don't cook with it. Wait, we need Sam to actually turn your microphone on. Do you get that? Okay, there we go. So Chef, Jim Beam is one of those, and you probably use regular Jim Beam with this.
Just plain Jim Beam.
The as I think about this, and you cook with it, you essentially evaporate all the liquor off of it, which means all you get are the flavors that are left. Is that correct?
Not in this. This is raw. So this has the straight alcohol in it.
Okay, so is this something that in the United States someone under 21 can't eat? I mean, and I'm just asking that as a rhetorical question.
Right. No, they couldn't.
Well, and that's
we don't allow anyone under 21 in here.
I was about to say, let's talk about the logistics of Mr. Lester. So this is, and one of the things I love about this is a place for adults.
Right.
There's a time for children to be involved in your lives, but for everybody who's here, and I know that you all feel the same way, whether it's Mike, whether it's Grant, Renee, Caleb, Burley, Sam's not there yet. He's currently figuring out who is the Mrs. X of someone else so she can be the Mrs. Sam Stokes. But that's a whole nother story. The ability to come here with the person that you hold sacred to you and enjoy something and spend that time, that's a big deal. So when you need that adult time, and, you know, my daughter actually might be watching. She's 21 because she's dying to come here. But I've told her, I'm like, guess what? For right now, this is for me and your mom. Because in order for relationships to stay, you have to go back to what we talked about in the monologue that started this show on radio and here on stream, which is you've got to build tradition. You've got to build those things that make a family strong. And obviously, the chair of intoxication has moved not 1, 2, but 3 seats over. But the reality is you've got that here, right? You've got that atmosphere. You've got this special, literally everything we've had. We've had a crostini, we've had a prawn, we've had a soup, we've had a salad, we've had, oh my goodness, the palate cleanser is so delicious that it makes you just want to have the palate cleanser. It's nuts. So when you think about families that come here and adults that come here, do you think about that as you build the menu?
Sure. Absolutely.
So tell me more about kind of what goes into that process.
Well, we try to keep traditional Louisiana into steakhouse. That's what sets Lester's apart from all the other steakhouse like you're speaking. I've eaten a bunch too.
Yeah.
And you eat in a steakhouse in Chicago, it doesn't have Louisiana flair.
No.
There's nothing else like Louisiana flair.
No.
We incorporate that into a steakhouse in Louisiana. That's what sets us apart from everyone else. Like Ruth Chris or Martin's, it's plain.
I've been to Gene and Giorgetti's,
I have.
which is an awesome steakhouse.
Yep.
Doesn't hold a candle to this place. It really doesn't. I mean, it's awesome here.
And therein lies, I think, the secret that we are all looking for and talking about with regards to our implicit bias and building tradition. We have a tradition in this country of doing things in a really unique way. We do. We are Americans. And as we get ready for kind of the last segment, so Sam, I'm going to go on a little bit of a roll here because this is something that's been near and dear to my heart as we start to think about the last couple of courses that are going to come out. And Chef, if you need to go handle that, I'm going to do this so we can make sure that we can...
Before we go to that one.
A few minutes. Yeah.
Take your time.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Chef, you're the star.
My point is this. My point is we are approaching the 4th of July, the celebration of the independence of the United States of America. And it has been asked of me a couple of times this week, once by Grant Galatas sitting across one of the tables, who said, hey, you know, why would someone why would anyone try and do in America what we've been seeing the last few years, try and break tradition? And now he gives me the finger. My point is, because if we are united, a united United States is the most threatening thing in the world to the small group of people who want to control and run you and me and everybody listening to this podcast and watching. And Sam, we'll go just a bit long here because you know what? We all care about each other. We're all different, but that's okay. We've seen what happens when everyone in this country says we're all going in that direction. It happens. It ends that way. Our sheer will becomes inevitable. So what do? They convince us to fight each other. They convince us to be divided. So what I will tell you, because we normally delve into a lot of politics on this show, a lot of religion on this show, I'm going to keep it here, and then we're going to come back and we're going to have fun with the last segment. What I'm going to tell you is this. When you look up and you see someone who is telling you, because we've had Supreme Court decisions this week that are massive. When you see someone telling you that you're different, no, we are all Americans. We are all on this planet to take care of each other at the highest level. And we as Americans, we haven't always gotten that. We haven't always done right by each other, but we do our best in unique ways that have not been seen anywhere else in the world. So don't let anybody tell you you're different, that something's wrong with you. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not right. The simple fact that we are all Americans is what keeps us together, what keeps us going on the 4th of July, and what keeps us wanting the things that we hope you see here on Implicit Bias from Mr. Lester Steakhouse, knowing that, you know what, you like it because you like it. It's all okay. And at the end of the day, even though we might disagree on some things, we all care about each other in the right way. And just as Chef Willie cares about us to bring us some more courses. More after this on IB.
Good job, Kavon.
Nicely done.
That was great.
That's beautiful.
Okay, so we're going to stream for a second. I'm going to run to the restroom and we're going to wrap this up. And then, Sam, we'll do a couple extra seconds for streaming.
I caught what you said. Stream, restroom. I get it.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, wonderful. All right, so I wish it was recorded because pass me more of that salad.
Dude, wait, stop. You're asking for more salad. That's never happened.
This is bait.
Yeah.
This is bait for me, and this is ridiculous.
Dude, yeah, that
Oh
salad
my
is
God.
awesome.
That sorbet, that blueberry whiskey sorbet is just stupid.
The salad, yes.
What was the bacon they have on this?
It's a sugar cane coated bacon that chef does.
That
Bacon is awesome. Dude, that would be great with eggs in the morning.
Oh, fuck me. Yeah, this would be like ridiculous. Dude, that sorbet. Guys, the sorbet is. Man, I see something on your mind, Sam.
I was just wondering if people saw Grant trying to figure out the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey.
Hey, here, take the mic.
Hey, don't start with me. You haven't worn your coat all night. All right, you out of uniform.
I got a lot going on, man.
We didn't go.
So, Caleb, what you think of that cigar?
We didn't go live.
Our attire tonight. So
Yeah.
I think this is the quick first shout crux
Uh,
I've had,
Yeah.
and that's a delicious cigar.
They make some great cigars.
That is.
We've done very well with them.
tell me
And-
again about that
First one, what's that first one?
That's an Alvo classic. It's
Dude,
just
that's
one of my
legit,
favorite.
and that's
one of my
not- that's
favorite
not-
Alvo cigars.
That one's good.
And I knew
I'm not
Alvo.
a big cigar guy, but that
I
was
knew
good.
Alvo. He was a neat guy. I mean, he was a hell of a musician. He was a piano player, a composer. He was an Armenian. He's just a great guy. And he died, like I said, he died a few years ago. But I was fortunate enough to meet him and get to know him a little bit. We've been on some trips together. I got to go to the Davidoff factory in the Dominican. It was just, they make great cigars. Davidoff makes his cigars for him. And they continue the tradition even after he's gone.
Well, I mean, imagine you have a better chance than we do, but imagine with your Florida Gerard, all the other stuff. You know, that's a namesake.
Yeah, yeah.
A rustic renegade cigar. I don't think it'll be like a backwoods or something. You know.
Well, I mean, you know,
it might be different, but
well, you get to know these guys that blend and make these cigars. They will make a cigar for you.
Well,
what do you like?
and-
And that's how I got the Florida Gerard. I mean, Manuel Quesada is a personal friend of mine. I've known Manolo for 25
well, yeah. But
years.
when I smoke your cigar, like I am even in my house, Yeah, I I'm was sitting about down to with say, you. it's kinda-
Right.
That cigar is you.
yes,
So like this one with the Avo, I imagine that's Avo.
yeah, it
you know?
is.
So like
It
it
is.
just blows my mind. There's so much to it,
Yeah.
you know, and there's so much depth.
And I mean, these guys that blend these cigars, they are the rock stars of the cigar industry. There's a lot of guys that come out with a cigar, and it's like I've always said, you can make a great cigar once, do it again.
Well,
That's the problem.
It's
is
like we were
most of
talking
these
about-
guys can't reproduce what they did.
It's like we were talking about earlier. You know, there's a lot of companies that jump up and veteran owned and everything else, and they're like, "Look, try our bourbon."
And
And I've tried their bourbon. I'm like, man, it's
they're
not.
living off that veteran owned
Yeah.
thing.
And look,
Look, I respect you because you were a veteran. You went out and did your deal.
Even then,
but
we're not all heroes.
No,
we're not. Some of us are.
Yeah, but
I am not one of them.
you raised your hand and took an oath
Even
to
then,
go out and do it.
We
But
raise our
that
hands to
doesn't-
serve our country.
Exactly.
And just like the individuals back home raise their hand and serve their country.
Right.
They may not serve in uniform, they serve their country.
Right.
So when you get to this
Anybody else need
level,
water?
and it's completely different.
Yeah, I mean these cigar guys are just unreal. They
Thank you.
the work involved, because most people don't realize it's not like when you manufacture a car. You can't just flip a switch and make more.
No, yeah.
This tobacco is grown, and then it's aged, and then it's fermented, and then it's aged some more, and then you take all of these different tobaccos with different curings and everything and blend them together to make this flavor.
Take all that.
And then next year, you got to do it again.
Yep, you have to try.
And
that was my wrist. Thank you.
And it's all different.
My wrist was hungry, Sam.
Because every year the crop is different. The curing is different. It's changed. So you got to be able to tweak it.
And that's what's different about like this tobacco, because you have to adapt.
Right.
Because
And
look,
you-
if your
and they-
wrapper's different, if your filler's different, you have to make it you.
You got to change it to make it consistent to what you did last year. And that's the rock star art part. I mean, to be able to look at that and get all of these components together and do what you got to do. Oh, I never used this tobacco, but I need this tobacco in the blend this year because something was lacking from the stuff that we normally use. So, I mean, that's the important part.
Well, and that's why you're the CWAT,
Bruh,
right?
I got a cigar for you.
That's why you're the CWAT, because you're the wizard of tobacco. Because, look, man, this requires a certain sense of magic.
Yeah.
You know, to know
it's an
what's
art
different, to
form.
know what's there.
There's 3 of them in the country?
It's an art
Or
form.
on the planet?
No, 15
I'm one of 15 in the world.
in the world, and
How many within
I
the
think there
continental
were
US?
five in the United States.
All of them are in the U.S.
Oh, all of
Okay.
them? Really?
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy is like if we sit down and try to figure out a curriculum to be like a CWAT or a CG, you know, CW of guns, of firearms.
Right.
We have to establish that and work with
But
that.
imagine what you got to be.
And even then, like,
Well,
I wouldn't reach that criteria. I don't think that I would
And-
make the cream of the crop.
And
I'm good, but I'm
the
not.
whole-
I'm not that level.
the whole tobacconist
Every other
universities
business
thing.
that's sitting at this table is not as
Yeah, we're not that
distinguished
level.
as-
The
as
whole
what one
tobacconist
is right
university thing started out with one guy, Jorge Armesteros. He owns a shop in New Jersey.
From where? Where's he from?
He's in New Jersey.
Okay, but where's he from?
Oh, I mean, he's a Cuban Hispanic
Family-
descent.
So it's
But he put together and he went through all the manufacturers, all the guys, the rock stars in the industry, and he put together all the information
They gonna be like, they ain't
and
even gonna
put
eat
the
like
test
they gonna be-
together that to take. You have to score 90% to become a certified retail tobacconist.
right.
And then once
And Caleb's
you do that,
eating salad. For those streaming, this is, why, if you're witnessing this, Caleb doesn't eat salad, but look at him.
But after you become a retail tobacconist,
vegan,
then you have to go and do
vegan kinda
100
guy,
extra
yeah, kinda
hours
flaky.
with
Oh, no, he's
a
not
manufacturer
vegan kinda guy,
dealing
he's
with
not-
tobacco
He's not a
and
salad kind of guy.
to get you certified
Oh,
master
no,
tobacconist.
looks like he is.
What I'm trying to tell you is that we have a lot of people who are very good in the industry, but you're a purist.
We're all, well,
from yours.
no.
So
We're
you
all- I mean,
you
you're
talk
like-
top level, top tier people in their industry, and you are just like 2 or 3 steps above that. in
Well,
what you
I mean,
do.
Caleb's a gun guy. He's a master in his guns in the gun industry.
I know.
You're in the jewelry
Yes,
industry.
and there's a lot of people that do that, but the level that you've achieved with that is
No,
admirable.
I mean, yeah, it's. I
Let
mean,
me-
that's.
look,
But that's what
let
I
me
do.
rain a little praise on you. Okay, because seriously, it's just
He's
awesome
done
to
a
just
fabulous
listen
job
to.
for us tonight,
Yeah.
guys.
Oh no! Look, Miss Neely, y'all take care of Miss Neely.
Miss Neely, hell yeah.
I like that every time we mention a cigar, Renee's like, "Yeah, I know that guy."
Yeah. Well, and that most of and that's what people don't understand. They come into the cigar room.
That's what I'm saying. Look how far
Renee's a
advanced
step
he is
above.
compared to all of us in our industry.
They walk in.
This
They
guy
walk in
is
my
like,
humidor, and all the cigars in my humidor. I know the guys that make them.
Yeah.
I've met them. I got their cell phone numbers on my cell phone.
That's my
I
point.
call them.
Yeah.
Kavon, do you know,
guy is
do you
so
know
far-
Johnny Blanton?
So here's the thing.
Benji Bullet?
I think we're about to change. I think we're about to change Renee's.
Get him, Sam.
I think we're about to change Renee's nickname to the name dropper. I know that guy.
No, no,
I know that
Might
guy.
be it.
No, that does not. That doesn't trump CWAT.
No, it
See
doesn't.
what's pretty good.
Okay, so this last tasting for those that are streaming, we're not recording yet, and we're just trying to make sure that we time things right with regards to the last couple courses that are going to come out, because Chef is going to bring out a bunch of courses, I think, at the same time for us to try. But this is the Bibb and Tucker 10-year whiskey, which you will not find in any restaurant in the state of Louisiana. So, except here.
I mean, this last one's something else.
I don't think I've had a Bibb and Tucker.
Whoa, that's very.
I was lucky
sweet.
enough to be on the show where he brought it from.
The 12-year,
It was
yeah.
still a clear.
Well, oh no, yeah, he brought. Yeah, you were there when
Man.
when the Liquor Fairy brought
Yes.
their white dog
Right.
and pushed it all the way through. Yep.
I was on
Yeah.
that
We
show.
experienced the whole process.
Higher
like-
proof.
What's the proof on this should be? It's not a.
That's what I'm saying. Look, again, I hate to say play with myself, but it's a game I play with myself.
Oh.
No, it's actually not. It's a 92 proof.
Really?
Yep. It's proofed at 92.
Wow.
Man,
It's
that-
92
that is
proof.
good for 90.
Whoa.
Bibb and
good.
Tucker 10-year bourbon.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of discussion in chat about the AC in the Top Secret podcast.
Wait, hold on.
it sucks.
If you're in,
better here.
if you're in chat,
It
if, wait,
sucks.
wait, if you're in chat,
Balls in the TSPO.
let's
Oh, man.
let's clear this out. If you're in chat, what AC in the Top Secret podcast?
It's
list?
not that
We
bad.
definitely couldn't be wearing these suits. in
It's
that.
typically
yeah.
hot as
No,
balls,
no.
so we're not
no
wearing
way.
not wearing this in the TSPO.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah,
No
look,
way.
look. Sam's new nickname, Kilowatt.
Yeah.
You are the low fridge guy.
Actually,
You are-
I
you are a kilowatt.
think Sam's the baker because he bakes us. He cooks us every summer in the Top Secret podcast lair.
But you got to admit, I mean, it's a small room, and we get 5 or 6 of us in there, and we do expel a lot of hot air.
Yeah, look, no,
are
but all
you
the
joking? I
more
mean,
reason to
seriously.
turn it
No.
all the more reason to turn it a tad below 76.
Yeah, but I don't.
76. I was thinking 86.
Holy crap!
But I don't think Kavan or Sam controls a thermostat. I've never seen a thermostat.
Hey, look,
I don't think there's
I
a
don't think they
thermostat.
have one.
That's why you have to give it to Kavan, because he made us wear a vest and some of us socks. And
Okay, so we're gonna hang on the stream for about 10 minutes here until Chef comes on. Then we're gonna go ahead and wrap up, and we will be good to go. Which is gonna put us finishing actual time at right about 9 o'clock. Which
I
is,
don't know what time you're finishing, but I'm finishing later on.
It will put us finishing this episode of Implicit Bias
Ditto.
on the stream at about 9 o'clock. So let's do this.
Are
So-
we filling?
So Sam, here's what I want to do.
I'm
Let's
just looking
do
at your bare legs right now.
No, he has
Sam?
bare arms.
Sam. This
Bare
slit,
arms, not bare
This
legs.
That's
slit
the right
goes.
to bare ankles.
The slit in this tuxedo goes all the way up to the hip.
Like,
Dude, get some
those
sun on
shoes-
those legs, will you?
Those shoes are gotta be killing you. Come on.
No, look, I'm very self-deprecating about this. I said this earlier. If you had actually seen my feet, these shoes are crying for forgiveness and for God to have mercy on their soul because my feet are just terrible. And yeah, that was actually a good pun right there. Yeah, I didn't intend to do that. Okay, so
You do need some sun on those legs, though, compared to this. I mean,
yeah. So
Yeah.
to quote a movie, Kavan's got hammer time going on. In
oh
his
yeah,
shoes.
yeah. Boomerang. She had hammer time going on in them shoes.
Yeah.
Do you want
Trumbull's got the cheese.
Are we waiting for Chef to start the last segment?
So yes, we are. She said
Okay.
he's about 8 minutes out now.
And look, gentlemen, to sit here and enjoy this meal with y'all, to enjoy this time with y'all, I am so grateful for Mr. Lester's for what they provided for us.
absolutely.
And I'm so grateful for what we did, setting it up, for Sam for tolerating all this stuff. This has been one hell of a night.
So Caleb, let me add to that because Sam, how many people do we still have hanging with us on stream?
71.
Dang.
So I want to thank the 71 people who hung with us tonight so far on stream. And, we might get more people before the end of the night. But I want to thank everybody because this show isn't this show. We're not Implicit Bias without you, the listener, our whiskey population drinking brethren out there. We set forth to put this show on the air right at 3 years ago. Matter of fact, July 11th, 2020 was the first Implicit Bias. It was an hour, and we did it live.
Absolutely.
So first of all, that reminds me of how incredibly stupid I was to let 4 guys from this crew sit in front of microphones with whiskey live on the radio. That's a whole nother conversation.
It made K-Pel nervous.
It did. So they actually sent us to the top secret podcast lair of Better Brew Productions and Sam Stokes. And you, the bourbon drinking, whiskey drinking, fun loving men and ladies out there who chimed in. You made this happen. This is not our show. This is your show.
Hey, come on.
And thank
Someone.
Speaking of the whiskey drinking ladies out there, Evelyn wants to know: have you picked a winner?
Yeah, that's where I was going with that.
So
Good job.
we are going to announce the winner in the last segment. So it will be live on stream and on the radio. The winner has been picked, so you know.
So when you said the winner will be announced at 6 p.m., you meant 1800, right?
No, I said the winner will be announced on the show starting at 6 p.m.
Ah, yes. So like right now it's 2033.
Yep.
Stay tuned.
Yes, and look, we're just a few minutes away. Chef is going to make his way out here with some more offerings, and this is one. It's rare that we ask you, the listener, the live stream watcher, to wait, but Chef is coming out with some more stuff, and we want you to see what he brings out here because it's just that good. And what our one lucky winner, who has been selected but not announced.
And look, you've had a whole bunch of great one-liners tonight. I'm just a few minutes away is something that I'm used to hearing.
Which is?
No, that's what I'm used to hearing.
Oh, okay. Are you people still watching?
All you people.
All you people. You people.
All y'all.
You need to come here. This is an awesome place. I mean, the people here just take care of you. They do a great job. And you'll get an experience at a restaurant that most places you go to, you won't get this experience.
Let me give some shout outs from chat just real quick, just because there's a lot of people chiming in. Bradley Cruz, I believe, is in.
Oh yeah, Bradley. I know
he's
Bradley.
in Piper's Haven right now.
Yeah, they're watching the stream.
Justin Istry has been commenting regularly.
Eastry? No,
East.
Okay.
East.
Dude,
East.
you grew up here.
Oh my God.
Eastry? What is wrong with you?
Heather Cox Jackson in the mix.
Melancon.
Chris Leger, Evelyn Boykin Salone, Kayla Morrissey, Chris Miguez, Tammy Aber. Is that the Tammy Aber I know? Let me know, Tammy.
I don't know, Sam.
Maybe so. How well do you know, Tim?
I was about to say, is her husband looking for you?
Allison Alamo Seneca says, have reservations for Sam.
Sam is available.
Gabrielle Pilaro.
Is it Gabrielle or Gabriel?
Aber. She says the cinnamon butter. I don't know.
Oh, that's Gabrielle then, yeah.
Miranda Ronset. Sounds like a country music artist.
You sure? Ronsonet?
Hey.
Look, Sam's killing it here. He's giving it his all.
No, okay. There's a difference between killing it and murdering it.
Yeah,
Sam is murdering.
He is murdering.
He's murdering names live on stream.
Bodie Barilo says, Sam, what's my last name? I think it's Barilo.
Barrio.
Barrio.
Oh, it's Barrio.
Barrio.
Bodie Barrio. All right.
Holy crap.
Is that a
All right,
song?
Sam.
It is definitely not the Tammy Aber that I know.
It is time for us. It is time for us to begin
Justin Stewart? Yeah,
the
what's up,
final
man?
segment of this week's radio episode of Implicit Bias. So you actually got some bonus content here on stream. You got to listen to Sam reading Cajun names where he grew up. And he mispronounced every single one.
But real quick, before Kavan gets into the thing here with while Chef's preparing the table here,
Oh, God.
just remember, This is something that you want to experience.
Yes.
Give yourself some time. Come to a place such as Mr. Lester's. Give yourself some time
Absolutely.
to enjoy. Let them take care of you. Give yourself some time between your courses, between your cocktails, and enjoy yourself. Time is more valuable than anything you're going to buy here.
Burley, if you're looking to take someone out, like your special someone for a date, this is such a special place.
Oh, yeah.
Chef is from Delcambre. We were talking earlier. He's a
As
local
Sam would say,
guy.
Del Cambry.
Yeah, Delcambre.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear how he pronounces that fish right there.
But you know what you need to do? Mr. Lester's is such a great place, and after you eat one of their meals here, you're gonna want to take a nap. They have a great hotel. The rooms here are awesome. So what you do, just plan a nice weekend, book you a reservation for the hotel and the restaurant. It's worth it.
And this is how we know we're in Acadiana, because Renee says book you. Book you a restaurant. Book you. Matt, book you that restaurant.
Book
Okay,
that.
Sam, let's roll.
All right, 3, 2.
Welcome into the final segment of this week's episode of Implicit Bias. I am your humble host, Kavan Bordelon. Hour 2 brought to you by Tree Guardian. TreeGuardianUSA.com, great place to find them, or call them in rain at 337-852-4880. Tree Guardian, no job too big, too small. And look, they'll actually send out a licensed arborist to tell you that tree needs to go, that tree needs to be trimmed, that stump needs to go, needs to be removed. They can handle everything for you. So we are wrapping up what has been an historic episode of Implicit Bias, because we are now in what is now the standard for the TSPL, the Top Secret Podcast Lair, which is the Cigar Lounge at Mr. Lester's Steakhouse at Cypress Bayou. Renee, you're supposed to only have one bite. Oh, okay, you got an asparagus.
Hey,
That's
come
fine.
on. Come
That's
on,
fine.
I don't give out many blues. This is a blue.
So, okay, so let's start here. So we have Chef Willie back with us. Chef, I'm going to let you start to describe this. I'm going to hand the microphone to Renee so I can actually try this first dish, because we are also going to announce who wins dinner at Mr. Lester's. Go ahead, Chef. What's this?
So dish y'all started with is one of our signature dishes. It's our 22-ounce bone-in ribeye. We pepper crusted. I added a little truffle butter for you guys.
My
And
favorite.
asparagus hollandaise.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
How do y'all like the steak?
Awesome. Awesome.
Gosh.
I'm gonna elaborate a little bit about what I do. So we buy from a packer called Creekstone Farms. They're in Kansas. They're the only PETA certified slaughterhouse in the country.
Wait.
How does that
There's,
happen?
It is
there's
correct.
such a thing as a
There is
PETA
such a thing.
certified.
PETA certified slaughterhouse. A lady from PETA created this slaughterhouse and makes cattle calm. And she did all kinds of research. Cattle like to turn right; they don't like to turn left. And she created this slaughterhouse for Creekstone Farms. There's a movie about her and all kinds
Wait.
of things.
Oh, you talking about Temple Grandin?
Yes.
Yes, I know of Temple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Renee knows this stuff.
Yeah, Temple Grandin has a doctorate in agriculture. She's autistic
Yes. That's the
and
lady.
has studied, and she is an expert on cattle,
And if
on how to calm animals down, and that's Temple Grandin
If
is
you
awesome.
take that steak-
Well, I have a son who's autistic, so I know of Temple Grandin.
if you take that steak and you eat it next to one that's not from that facility, you can tell the difference.
Because
I agree.
Stressed.
Right.
You absolutely can.
That meat is not stressed.
That-
Absolutely. I see exactly
It's
where
Caleb,
you're going
It's
with
You
like
this.
saw my
eating deer
face.
meat that's been
Just wait.
ran by dogs.
Yes.
Basically. and it's
Versus
stressed.
a field. Yep.
And look, I don't stress the animals I kill because they don't run very far.
That right there.
But
Well,
everyone's
that's
face
because you're
is so
shooting
far.
them from a mile and a half
Yeah,
away.
everyone's face is so far. Like I don't want to pass this plate already.
No, you don't.
Hey,
No, you
Caleb,
don't.
hold that
I'm
plate
telling
up to the camera over there.
Yeah, so, well, Caleb, hand it over here, or so we can see it, because
Chat wants to see that steak.
it is one of the most beautiful plates of food I have ever seen, and that is, we talked about presentation, and what's crazy is the steak is off the chart. I cannot come up with enough expletives to talk about how beautiful that steak is, the asparagus and the hollandaise on the asparagus are as good as the steak. It balances it out.
Chef Willie's stuff is so good. We want expletives to be able to describe it.
I don't care how good looking that steak is.
Air, but off air we will say it.
That steak is what I order every time I come to Mr. Lester's. It is awesome.
Okay, so Caleb just got a bite. Okay, so chef, continue because there's more here on the
that
table.
Plate, I put the last 3 courses I was going to give you guys because we run out of time.
Yeah,
So
it happens.
On that plate, there's a bourbon glazed salmon with a pink peppercorn beurre blanc. There's a veal chop with a wild mushroom bourbon au poivre sauce, and there's a New York strip with blue cheese and onion bourbon demi-glaze. And then under the veal is our roasted corn grits, and under the New York strip is our roasted garlic potatoes.
Listen, for everybody that comes to a steakhouse and they say, I got to order a steak, that salmon is like, God. Like, when you come to a steakhouse, you know you're
Mike, please don't say salmon.
It's salmon.
I knew
Burley would chime
Sam,
in.
I'm
With
sorry.
Just don't say salmon.
Burley,
no one listening, no one streaming. Don't ever say salmon.
Yeah,
just
but
don't do it.
Yeah, but Burley, why is it salmon and it's almond?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's it's salmon.
The S makes the L silent.
Just stop it. Just stop it.
Okay, wait a second. Let me clarify.
Is it good food or good food?
Let me clarify. When you catch a tuna offshore, if you don't bleed it and get all of the stress off the meat immediately when it's on the boat, it tastes different from what you do. So there is a definite way to prepare this kind of meat.
There absolutely is. And chef,
And
Caleb,
this is done
remember,
correctly.
we get to actually eat dinner after this. So
I got the good fat.
yeah. Caleb's like, I got the meat butter, which is what we call it in the Bordelon household. It's absurd. Chef, this is absolutely ridiculous. And look, we have paired it with another ridiculous weekly whiskey. So we all had samples, and I got to pick this bottle up. We all had samples of this Bibb & Tucker 10-year. Now, to a person, everyone said, this is over 100 proof. That's good. Huh? Not close. 92. 92 proof. So this is kind of the coup de grace. This particular bourbon whiskey, Bibb & Tucker 10-year, you will only find in the entire state of Louisiana at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. For a grand total, and look, it's going to set you back. It's going to set you back. It's going to set you back in the wallet a whole $12.
What?
$12 is what this will roll for a pour.
For a pour.
A pour.
Not a short pour.
Not a burley pour. Not a burley pour. Burley, you had this. And Sam, you know what? I want to get Sam's comment on this. Sam, you had this Bibb & Tucker. Tell us what you said about this as you try to put down the plate as you're eating over there instead of actually directing the show as you're supposed to be doing. Sam, you absolutely had maybe the best comment on this Bibb & Tucker.
I don't remember what it was. I mean, it just keeps getting better and better on this show. The last sip was ridiculous.
And everybody knows Sam is like the bourbon snob on the show.
Yeah.
And for you to say it's ridiculous, we almost can stop there.
If you would like to pour me a little bit more and swing it back around, I could have a little bit more informed take.
The bottle's right there, and we're in the last segment of the show, so you can start to have as much as you want, but we got to pack up.
Which your cigar?
Hey,
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on. What, Grant?
Kavan, Sam has been on this show for every pour.
Yes, he
if
has.
Exactly, because
That's a great call out.
exactly. Sam, I trust his opinion on this. Let's let him run with it, even though he doesn't have his jacket.
So Sam,
put your jacket on.
Sam, you get to call for the whole show. Is this a blue? Another one?
Are you asking the steak or the whiskey?
The whiskey.
Yes.
Because all the above. Yes.
Yes, I'm about to say all of the above. So here's the beautiful part of this. What we have rolled out, and I'm glad I didn't just spill this ribeye juice all over my tuxedo from Miller's Formals. By the way, Miller's Formals will take care of you, right? Because Miller's Formals made us look presentable on stream tonight. Then they can make you look even better.
A few people have commented that we look great, by the way.
Well,
And my son, Sam, my son Carter, was just watching you and I eat that steak. He said it looks so good.
The salmon.
So here's ultimately where we lie, right? Which is, guys, it can only get better from here. And that's the best part about traditions. Because once you establish a tradition, you start to tweak it, change it just a little bit here and there. And that tradition grows. Please, we're going to start to have conversations about Mr. Lester Steakhouse. We're going to come down here and we're going to stream from here. We are going to make you part of the Mr. Lester's family and part of the Implicit Bias family, just like they have opened their doors to us and made us part of their family. It's absolutely fantastic. So I think that leaves us with one thing we have to do before we
real
go.
Quick, not everybody likes meat. Maybe you're not a big steak eater. Willie, that salmon is off the frickin' charts.
So Burley, that salmon was ridiculous.
That salmon was not good at all, but the salmon was out frickin' standing. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Salmon is a high school in Slidell. Salmon is the fish that was served on the plate. And
Willie,
that's absolutely where we go.
Very good. It's very good.
Okay,
and
so
my son Carter loves salmon.
That's a New Orleans joke. Yes, that's a New Orleans joke. Salmon is a high school. Salmon is the fish. And yes, I would never have thought, and Mike actually said this, I would never have thought to come here and order fish. Mm-hmm. And salmon is one that I typically go, yeah, because nobody does it right. Are you kidding me?
Right.
You do it right. It's fantastic. And it makes me go, I want that, but I want everything else too. That's the biggest problem you're going to have coming here to Mr. Lester's is trying to figure out what you want, because you're going to have plate envy from everybody at the table.
100%.
We have a lot of couples that they'll split a steak and split a fish, and we'll split it for them on the plate, make a surf and turf.
Okay, Sam, how much time do we have?
You got about a minute and a half.
Okay, so minute and a half. We're going to talk about dessert in just a second. I'll let you talk about that, but we have to announce a winner, because we have a winner on Implicit Bias for the dinner here at Mr. Lester's. And of course, my phone decided to go away from it, but that's okay. So we are going to pull our winner up, and it is Brandy Nicole Poche. Brandy Nicole Poche, you are the winner of a dinner for two here at Mr. Lester's, up to $500 and a hotel stay. Please, gratuity not included. Take care of your servers. Absolutely. And I say that because there's Miss Neely behind the bar who has been, you probably haven't seen her on the stream. You haven't heard about her on the show. But without her, we are in a hole. Brandy Nicole Poche, we're going to give you a message via Facebook. We're going to reach out to you and tell you that you have won dinner for two. You have 30 days to claim it. 30 days, which means we're going to remind you on next week's episode of Implicit Bias. Chef, this dessert, it's a chocolate silk, if I remember right.
Silk pie.
Chocolate French silk pie. It's absurd. Yeah. This episode has been absurd.
Cream on top.
You know how to make me fall in love with you. Like we hope you've all fallen in love with Implicit Bias. We'll be back next week. You never know what's going to happen.
Are we still on the feed right now? Or?
Well, we're still on the feed.
Look,
so.
I hate.
Let's go live.
First our live.
Dude, I hate blue cheese.
Let's go live.
That blue cheese is astounding.
It's
Hey,
fantastic.
I've never thought it would
going.
be good. Oh my god.
Blue cheese where? What didn't you like about what?
I've never liked blue cheese. The thought of like rotten cheese on my food has always just been repulsive. And that is amazing. And then was that veal on this side?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, what's that bed?
That's
We have a
roasted
distinct
corn
advantage.
grits.
Roasted corn grits?
This is New Orleans
Look,
food
the
that we've been
consistency
tasting
of your
our whole
grits
lives, Bubba.
is amazing. A lot of times you
Seriously.
get grits.
Look, all you Lafayette people,
it's a
all
little
that
different.
shit.
That's
Kavan and I have been tasting this food all our
French
lives.
silk
Crap.
pie.
Renee, you put your stuff all over my stuff.
No, I didn't put it.
Oh my!
Easy.
I don't want the
easy.
dessert. That ribeye is still over there.
All you.
Yo, this is
Your spoon.
I don't like
Stuff's right here.
It was right here.
Like-
It's not overly sweet.
normally I get a steak this good. I travel to Texas, kill an animal, and then I cook it myself.
Absolutely.
This is just
Fantastic.
All right. So for our streamers, I want to say thank you. We hope you've enjoyed. We hope that you will make it down here to Mr. Lester's. We are going to sign out because now it's time for the crew here to go actually enjoy Mr. Lester's a little more than just doing a podcast
little more
and
whiskey.
a radio show.
Yeah.
Well, okay, those bottles don't need to necessarily. The only bottle that needs to go is the Bib and Tucker. Everything else,
And it's very good.
can go to the other side.
That
You
bit
better
is
We're gonna
very
get
good.
because
equipment
we're about to tie up into
and
it.
let's go. And that's
Wait.
what I told my wife. We're gonna get equipment and let's
My,
go.
my son just said it looks like I'm gonna lick the plate like it's a pig slop.
Oh,
He ain't wrong.
He's actually trying to FaceTime me right now.
All right, Sam, you can shut her down. For those who have been streaming with us, thank you so much. We appreciate you being with us tonight.
The pig.
When we announce another one, don't hesitate. This is going to be tons of fun.
thank you for helping us.